I'm Jim Koonce, bringing you play-by-play action of this area playoff game tonight for radio station KTXO in Sherman. Joining me in the broadcast booth tonight for tonight's game will be Leon Thornhill, providing color commentary and analysis as we go along, and Jerry Burke is with us tonight as statistician and engineer. The Electra Tigers are the District 9 2A champions and come into tonight's game with a record of 10 wins and 1 loss. Their only loss of the season was to Jacksboro in a close 10-7 football game. They avenged that loss last weekend with a 3-0 win over Jacksboro. The Howe Bulldogs are the District 11 2A champions. The Bulldogs enter tonight's contest with 8 wins and 3 losses. So tonight it's champion against champion, and that should make for a very exciting and a very entertaining football game. Well, Leon, tonight's football game features defense against offense. The strength of the Tiger football team seems to be in its defense, especially in its linebacker, number 32, Juan Hernandez, and number 83, Stephen Gaines, who plays a defensive tackle. This game kid is a big one. He's 6'2", 265 pounds. Now, we've watched this Bulldog football team all year long. And as you look at the starting lineups tonight and look at these teams as they warm up on the field before us, how do you see tonight's football game shaping up?
Well, Jim, it should be a real contest tonight between these two teams. We have one that the Howe Bulldogs that likes to run the run and shoot offense against the basic power eye offense of the Tigers. So I see it as a close contest, and it could be as close as the game that Electra had with Jacksboro last week. It could be like 3-0.
Well, that's true. The Bulldogs have been awfully tough since they went to that run-and-shoot offense, but this is certainly going to be an interesting matchup. We'll see one of the best offenses in the region going against one of the best defenses, and that's always been a classic football matchup. Tonight, as we look down at the starting lineups, as we look at the football field, and as we look at the weather conditions, we have a very strong wind blowing south to north as the stadium runs north and south. I would just estimate the wind blowing at about 30 miles an hour tonight, and the winds are going to be looking strong, it appears, all night long. The temperature tonight at game time is somewhere about in the 50s, 59 degrees exactly, and so weather conditions are ideal. It's dry, except for the wind. It ought to be a perfect night for football, Leon.
Jim, it should be a real good night for football. It might be a little uncomfortable for some of the fans, but playing out on the field, and this stadium is situated as such that wind right directly on the field shouldn't be too much of a factor, I wouldn't think. Now, the kicking game, that's different. I don't think it'll affect the passing game all that much. But the kicking game, once you get up off this carpet, the wind's going to be a factor, definitely.
That's right. Darrell G. for the Tigers has been their offensive weapon on the kicking game. In fact, it was his field goal that won the football game last week against Jacksboro. And, of course, Stephen Hawthorne for the Howe Bulldogs has an awfully strong leg, and we look for the possibility of him being involved in the eventual outcome of tonight's football game just because of the defensive reputation of this Electra bunch.
Jim, I think you're right. I think it's going to be a close ball game, one that we're going to enjoy bringing to the radio audience. And these Howe Bulldogs can be tough, and I'm sure that Electra's going to be equally tough. And we might see one whale of a defensive game tonight.
That's right. We've talked about the defense for the Electra Tigers because they do have such a reputation for defense, but this Howe Bulldog bunch is no slouch when it comes to playing defense on their own side of the ball.
That is very true. We have a middle linebacker by the name of Troxtel. That's a very good athlete, very quick. Up in that front line, there's 2 or 3 boys that are pretty good-sized young men, and they do their part equally as well as this middle linebacker. So, the old power high offense is one that's hard to stop, but I believe the Howe Bulldogs will rise to the occasion tonight, and we're going to see a good football game on both parts here tonight.
I believe you're right. One of the kids on this Bulldog team that's really impressed me on the defensive side of the football in recent weeks has been James Boatman. He's really come along playing excellent football, and he's one of the smaller kids on that defensive front for the Bulldogs.
That is true, and also along the same line, John Norwood has also been making his presence known in the last couple of weeks on the defensive team.
That's right. Well, offensively for the Bulldogs tonight, we look for the same things that we've been seeing all year long. That's number 9, Jay Skipworth, back airing the football out, looking for number 11, Stephen Hawthorne on one side, number 45, Canada on the other side. And when those two receivers are covered, he's been using the backs coming out of the backfield very effectively, especially last week in last week's ball game. Number 30, Jerry Covington, was effective coming out of the backfield. Number 6, Stephen Pettit, was very effective coming out of the backfield. And, you know, if this Electra bunch, if they'll adjust to that passing game, look out for number 44, Clint Bray.
That's very true, Jim. Clint's had outstanding, the last 2 ball games are very outstanding games running the football. And, you know, you shut one offense down and then they hit you with the other one. Whereas Electra basically is a running team. They run that power I, and they're very good at it. But you shut that power I down, I understand that they don't pass much, maybe an average of about 14 times per game, and that's not much, where the Bulldogs put the ball in the air 20 or 30 times or more.
That's right. I expect to see the ball in the air a lot from the Bulldogs tonight, but after a 272-yard performance last week, Clint Bray has shown all of the Area 2A bunch that he can run the football.
That's very true. He does a good job at it. And Jay Skipworth, a fine young quarterback, I believe he's a senior this year, and he does a good job throwing the football, and he's got some people that can catch it. So they may put on an aerial display here tonight that we might all be amazed at.
Well, that's right. Well, we'll be back in just a moment to give you a look at the starting lineups preparing for tonight's game. But before we do that, we want to bring you a few words from some of the folks that make tonight's broadcast possible for you. Continue their warm-ups. Let's give you the starting lineups as we have them for tonight's football game. We'll just look, Leon, at how these two teams match up on paper anyway, at least size-wise and experience-wise. Of course, playoff experience. Both teams were in the playoffs last year. Both teams advanced last year. So in recent days, they're equal. This Electra Tiger bunch has been in the playoffs the last 7 out of 8 years, and that ought to give them at least a little bit of an edge that way, because they are experienced in these high-pressure games. Now looking at the offensive lineup for the Howe Bulldogs. Tonight, starting at quarterback, is the area leading passer, Jay Skipworth. Jay is a 155-pound senior, has thrown this year for over 1,900 yards. Starting in the backfield along with Jay will be number 42, Monty Walker. Monty is a 190-pounder, sophomore, but he plays that running back position awfully well. Number 44, Clint Bray, starts at the fullback spot. Clint is a 190-pound senior. Playing the receiver positions tonight for the Bulldogs will be number 16, Matt Cavender, is a 150-pound junior. Number 11, Stephen Hawthorne, who is the area pass receiving leader, goes 190 pounds, and he's also a senior. Number 45, David Canada, will be playing one of the wideout positions. He's a 170-pound senior. Jay Skipworth has a big offensive line to work behind. They've given him good protection this year. That line is anchored by number 52, Tony McLean. Tony is a 220-pound senior. The two guards are both equally effective at their position. Number 56, Thomas Troxtel, is a 190-pound senior. And Scott Nass, number 62, is a 175-pound senior. The two tackles, the two bookends of this offensive line, will be David Beamett, a 210-pound senior on one side, and James Neely, a 210-pound senior on the other side of the line. We'll be starting at the safety position tonight. Number 7, Wade Carson. Wade is a junior and weighs in at 150 pounds. Starting on the other side at cornerback will be number 45, David Canada. David is a 170-pound senior. Also playing on the corner tonight will be Matt Cavender. He's a 150-pound junior. The two linebackers will be number 30, Jerry Covington, a 175-pound senior, and number 32, John Norwood, who is a 160-pound senior. And they'll be joined in the middle by number 56, Thomas Troxtel. Thomas is a 190-pound senior. That makes up an awfully strong secondary for the Bulldogs. And then making up the defensive line for the Bulldogs will be number 22, James Boatman, who plays defensive end. He's a 160-pound senior. Jared Powell plays on the other side at defensive end. He's a 170-pound junior. Kevin Gray plays the nose guard position. He's a 170-pound senior. And the two defensive tackles are Blair Nelson at 210 pounds, and he is a senior, and then Daniel Williams, a 170-pound junior. Again, looking at just size comparisons, it doesn't appear that either team really has an overall advantage, but when it comes to hitting, that Thomas Troxtel really gets in there and will lay the helmet on you.
That's right, Jim, and you know, we're sitting way up here high in this press box, and this number 83 for Electra looks like he can cover that whole line by himself. He is a huge young man, but you know, size is not always the end result in a battle. The size of the heart has a lot to do with it. So these Bulldogs have a lot of heart, so I know we're going to see a good ball game out of them.
That's right. Scott Nass is the Bulldog who draws the task of trying to block on the offensive side Stephen Gaines as the Bulldogs have the football. He'll only be outweighed 100 pounds tonight as he takes on that task, but we've watched Scott play now since he was a freshman, and if anyone can get the job done, Scott Nass can do it.
That's true, Jim, and you know, the size of the dog doesn't always determine the outcome of the battle. The heart has a lot to do with it, and these Bulldogs, Troxtel, Nass, the whole entire line has done a good job of opening holes for Clint Bray all season long, and I think a lot of times they're not recognized enough for the job that they do. They do a good job up front for blocking for these running backs.
That's right. You know, those offensive linemen, they never get the press. They never get the headlines. But if it worked for them, guys like Clint Bray and Monty Walker and David Canaday and Stephen Hawthorne and Jay Skipworth, their names would never make the newspaper.
That's true, Jim. It takes 11 of them.
Well, the crowd's beginning to filter in more and more as the stadium begins to fill. This is a huge stadium. I would just suspect you could probably put better than 10 or 20,000 in here. What would you think?
I would think so, Jim. It's a beautiful facility, and wish we had something like this in Howe, but we're not quite that big yet. Wichita Falls is a big place.
That's right. The reason I hedged on the size of this stadium, I've been told that 10,000 looks like an empty house in here. So, well, we'll be right back. We'll bring you the coin toss and let you know what's going to happen at the beginning of the football game in just a few moments. But right now, we want to give you a few words from our sponsors. Approach the ball for the Electra Tigers. There's the kick. It's coming down short. Number 45, I believe that is.
Cavender, number 16.
Number 16, Matt Cavender on the reception for the Bulldogs. Brings that ball out to the 26-yard line where the Bulldogs will put the ball in play. First down and 10 yards to go. Leon, he was swarmed by that Electra defense coming down. I couldn't begin to tell you who made the tackle.
Noel Hernandez was the first man to get to him, Jim, number 30.
Number 30, Noel Hernandez. All right.
And then a host of those Tigers got there about the same time.
Well, they play the same kind of defense apparently that the Bulldogs play, just a swarming kind of a defense. Skipworth brings the Bulldogs out of the huddle. They're in their run and shoot. Monty Walker was in motion. The pitch back is to Cliff Bray. Cliff Bray is stopped right at the line of scrimmage for no gain. He's stopped there by number 20, Joseph Robeson. Number 15 in there also on that tackle, Harold Willett. That running game went nowhere that time, Leon.
That's true, Jim. A good defensive play by Harold Willett over on that outside linebacker's position there.
They do play a swarming, pursuing kind of a defense. Once again, the Bulldogs up over the ball. Number 9, Jay Skipworth has them out in that run and shoot. Ball is handed off to number 16.
That's guess who, Jim?
Matt Cavender, and that one that we've been looking for all night. That's number 83, Stephen Gaines, the All-Stater from last year. Drops the ball carrier for about a 4-yard loss. That'll bring up a third down now. Third down and about 14 yards to go. The Bulldogs have the ball at their own 23-yard line. Make that between the 22 and 23, so officially it'll be the 23. We have a big third down play coming up here now, Leon, right at the beginning of the football game.
Yeah, Jim, and the pressure's on right now, and we're just going to wait and see what happens.
Number 9, Skipworth, brings them out. Back in motion. There's a flag on the play before the ball can be snapped. Let's see what we have here. We have a signal of a delay of the game called against the Bulldogs. We'll mark off 5 yards. That doesn't help any, Leon. That makes it third down, 18 yards to go with the ball back on the Bulldogs' 17-yard line.
That's true, Jim, and they've dug a hole deep here early in the ball game. But you know, this run and shoot offense, anything can happen. So Skipworth's going to put them to the test now and see what happens.
Well, Skipworth has them out. Covington goes in motion. Skipworth's back to pass. Ball is intercepted by number 40. That's Larry Hernandez. Larry Hernandez making a good defensive play to step in front and make that interception, bringing the ball back to the 22-yard line. Coach Fryer told me early in the week, Leon, that this bunch from Electra tries to create mistakes and makes very few, and then they try to capitalize on all the ones you make, and it looks like the Bulldogs have made a big one right from the very beginning.
That's true, Jim, and on the defense for the Bulldogs was Monty Walker, the man making the tackle after the interception by the Tigers.
Well, the Tigers are out over the football now. Number 20. Roberson is the quarterback. Fumble. There's a fumble on the play. And it looks like the Bulldogs have recovered that fumble. Yes, the officials are signaling a recovery for the Howe Bulldogs. And so now we have mistake versus mistake. They all even out. And we'll start it all over again with the Bulldogs now with the football. 1st and 10 from their own 22. And that's where we started last time.
That's right. And Blair Nelson was the man that recovered that fumble. Along with 2 or 3 more of the Bulldogs that assisted that time. But Blair Nelson was the man to come up with it.
Well, here we go again. Jay Skipworth brings the Bulldogs out in the run and shoot. Backs in motion. Clint Bray with the pitch back. Clint breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, goes for a nice gain. He's brought down finally down there by number 32. That's Juan Hernandez. Juan Hernandez was also an All-State player last year. And so we have a good beginning. We have a 6-yard gain for Clint Bray that time. 2nd down and 4 yards to go. Now things look much better for the Bulldogs. It looks more like the Bulldog team that we're accustomed to seeing.
Travis Box was also in on the defensive play that time, Jim, assisting on that tackle.
Skipworth has the Bulldogs out. He's down over the ball. Hand off again to Clint Bray. Going forward to the 32-yard line. That tackle made in there by number 83. That's Stephen Gaines once again, that big 6'2", 265-pounder. The officials are looking now. It looks like he'd be just a bit short of the 1st down is apparently the indication. It's going to be 3rd down now, 3rd and less than a yard to go. Skipworth brings them up. Again, they're in the run and shoot offense. Clint Bray, the only running back. Monty Walker in motion. The handoff once again to Clint Bray. He's met right at the line of scrimmage by number 83, Stephen Gaines. And this is going to be awfully close, Leon.
That's right, Jim. And, you know, this Stephen Gaines is a big young man, but he covers a lot of territory up there in a short period of time. And that play, he did a super job getting over there. He went all the way across 3 people to get to the ball carrier.
Well, that's right. It looks like we do have a timeout. The officials say this one's too close for me to call. We're going to bring the chains out and see if this is a 1st down.
Jim, he looks just a little bit short, about a foot or 2, it looks like.
I believe he made it. No.
Well, looks like your eyesight's pretty good from this spot, Leon. He is just a bit short. We're going to have a 4th down. 4th and just inches is signaled by our referee here tonight. Well, Leon, will Coach Fryer gamble this early in the ball game, this deep in his own territory, at his own 32-yard line?
Jim, he may. You know, I'm not going to second guess him. He's been winning and coaching longer than I have. So.
Well, here they come. They are up in the run and shoot. Skipworth's down over center. And once again, hands that ball to Clint Bray, and he does go for the 1st down, taking the ball to the 44-yard line. And it appeared to me that number 32, Hernandez, was the primary tackler on that carry, and also number 15, Harold Willett.
That's right, Jim. Those 2 young men got there in a hurry, but Mr. Bray was just a little bit before him.
Well, he was determined to get that 1st down that time. They're back up over the ball. Brian Pettit's in motion. Skipworth back. Hands the ball once again to Clint Bray. Number 83 is there once again. That's Stephen Gaines, and he's joined by number 15, Harold Willett. I believe we're going to be calling this Gaines kid's number an awful lot tonight.
It looks like it, Jim. He covers a lot of territory up there, and being the size that he is, he's got exceptional speed for a man his size.
Well, we gained 2 yards on that play. Brings up a 2nd down and 8 yards to go. Once again for the Bulldogs. They're up over the ball. Quick snap that time. Handoff goes to the 2nd back this time.
Covington.
That was number 30, Jerry Covington, taking the handoff. Timmy Bella in on the stop that time, and there's a loss on the play. Of course, Gaines is always there, and so he was there once again. We lose a yard this time. Third down now, 9 yards to go for the Bulldogs. What do you do with this Gaines kid, Leon?
Call in reinforcements, I guess, Jim, because he's sure done a super job.
Skipworth has him out now. Back to pass. Looking complete to Jerry Covington on the play. It is good for a first down. And it looks like number 20 is the first man there. That's Joseph Robeson. But the ball now is down at the 45-yard line. Make it closer to the 46-yard line in Bulldog territory. That's the second first down of the ball games. First down and 10 for the Bulldogs. That was a 13-yard completion that time. And that's the run and shoot at its best right there.
That was a good play. The man was wide open. He had plenty of time to throw the ball. And the right guard for the Bulldogs, number 62, did a super job on this Gaines kid on that last play.
Well, Walker's in motion. Pitch back to Bray. He's going to be stopped for a loss that time. Number 11 was in there, Jeff Rogers. Number 40 was in there. That's Larry Hernandez. And we lose about 2 yards on the play. Second down and 12. And we have an official down on the play, so we're going to take a timeout. While we have timeout on the play, we'll let you go back and give you a word from some of the good folks who helped bring tonight's ball game to you. That's right. Well, the official does seem to have more than just a little nick. They're carrying him off the field. It looks like he has injured an ankle or a knee, and so we'll go from a five-man officiating crew down to a 4-man crew real quickly.
Well, they got some on the sideline that may statistician. They could use him. Norman could keep stats if they'd let him, but.
Well, the referee has been to the home side, to the Electra side. Electra is the home team here tonight. Now he's over talking to Coach Fire of the Bulldogs and informing both benches of the condition and what's going on and what steps will be taken now with one official injured. The Bulldogs, as we look at the field, are moving from our left to our right in this offensive series from the north end of the stadium toward the south end of the stadium. The referee comes back to the ball now. And once again, we'll go to the Electra bench. So while we still have a break in the action, we'll take you back to the studios for a word from a few of our sponsors. Well, it appears they have it sorted out, and indeed we will go with a 4-man crew now instead of a 5-man crew. The referee says, let's play ball, and signals the clock to start. Jay Skipworth brings the Bulldogs out. Quick pitch out to number 11, Stephen Hawthorne, his favorite receiver all year long. The pass is complete, but only for just a very short gain, as Skipworth appeared to throw the ball just a little behind Stephen Hawthorne that time.
That's right, John. If he'd let him just a little more, might went for a few more yards, but he was quickly going to be covered by number 10, Gerald Willett. He was over there defending, so might not have went for the 6, but might have went for a few more yards.
Well, we do have a third down now and 8 yards to go. Skipworth has the Bulldogs out there in that run and shoot. Monty Walker goes in motion. He's back to pass. Skipworth's toss is out and overthrows his intended receiver. That was David Kennedy. And number 40 on the defense, Larry Hernandez, had Kennedy covered pretty well that time.
Didn't look too good that time, Jim. He led him just a little bit too much, threw the ball a little bit too much on it that time. And I'm sure he's having trouble judging with this wind as to how hard to throw and how hard not to throw.
Well, the Bulldogs are in punt formation. Jay Skipworth does the punting. Punt is off. Number 40, Hernandez, is back for the Electra Tigers. Takes the ball and returns it back to the 31-yard line. The Electra Tigers will have the football for their second offensive possession. First down and 10 yards to go from their own 31-yard line. It didn't appear to be a real great punt that time. The ball never got very high, and again, that might be this wind might have knocked that ball down just as quickly as it came off of Skipworth's foot.
That's right, Jim. It didn't get too much height on it, and down covering was Tony McLean and Monty Walker to make that tackle.
Well, Robeson has the Tigers out over the football once again. Man in motion. Pitch back is to Hernandez. Hernandez sweeps the left side of the offensive line and picks up good yardage, about 5 yards on that carry. Leon, who made that stop for the Bulldogs?
Jerry Covington and number 32, John Norwood, were the first man there, and number 55.
Number 55,
Jared Powell. Jared Powell was also in on the defensive play.
Well, we have a second down and 5 yards to go for the Tigers. They have the ball now at their own 36-yard line. Robeson has the Tigers down. The snap is back. Robeson is back to pass. Passes the ball. It is complete, and it appears to be sufficient for a first down.
Harold Willett was the receiver, Jim. And defending was number 45 for the Bulldogs. That would be David Kennedy.
Well, that was a good, quick pattern, but it was just a bit short. It's going to be now third down. A third down officially won, but I don't believe you can squeeze a yard out of what they've got over there on that sideline for the yard markers. Robeson brings the Tigers up. They're in a pro set.
Jim, he lost yards that time.
Number 32, Hernandez took that ball, but that handoff from Robeson, that Bulldog defense was all over him, hit him in the backfield, threw him for a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up a fourth down now.
John Norwood was first man there, Jim, on a good defensive play for the Bulldogs and making him lose that yard that time.
Leon, I believe this defensive unit for the defensive unit for the Bulldogs is just a little quicker than our offensive line.
It was on that play, Jim. It did a good job.
Tigers back to punt. Gets off a good kick. That's going to go
10-yard line.
Out of bounds at the 10-yard line. No, they're going to mark it down in between the 8 and the 9-yard line. So the Bulldogs will really be in a hole this time. First down and 10 yards to go at about that, well, we'll call it officially the 9-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go for the Bulldogs. We have 3 minutes and 54 seconds remaining in this first quarter. There is no score in the ball game, as the Bulldogs will go back to work offensively.
Deep in their hole, Jim. Got a long way to go to the other end, but that last series of downs, they did pretty well offensively, so maybe they can move it this time.
Well, Skipworth has them up. They're in the run and shoot offense. Monty Walker goes in motion. Hand off again to Clint Bray. Clint Bray is met right at the line of scrimmage by, guess who? Stephen Gaines.
Stephen Gaines.
When Mr. Gaines meets Mr. Bray, it says, "Whoa, hoss."
There's not much room to run, and you can't do much once he gets his arm wrapped around you. He's a big boy.
Well, they officially gave him about 6 inches. We'll call it second down, 10 yards to go. Second and 10 for the Bulldogs. The ball still resting just inside the 9-yard line. Skipworth has them out over the ball. They're once again in that run and shoot. Man in motion. And the handoff is to Brian Pettit. Pettit is dropped behind the line of scrimmage for a 4-yard loss. I didn't catch the number of the defender. Did you catch the defender?
Number 83, Mr. Gaines again, Jim.
I guess anytime I don't get one, all I have to do is say Gaines made the play, because he's always there.
He's going to be somewhere around the ball, or he has been so far.
Well, we have a third down now, 14 yards to go for the Bulldogs. They need to get that ball away from the goal line before trying to punt this thing out of here. Third down, 14. Skipworth has them up. Drops back to pass. Passes incomplete. Passes intended for
Covington.
Number 30, Jerry Covington. Number 20, Robeson on a good hit to separate Covington from the football that time. Otherwise, that would have been complete. Not quite enough for a first down, I don't believe, but it would have been a completed pass and given them more room for the punt. Now we have fourth down and 14 yards to go. Skipworth will be in his own end zone as he prepares to attempt this punt. Hernandez deep for the Tigers to receive the punt. Not much of a rush, but not a very long punt. The Bulldogs are down there very quickly, though. Troxtel is there almost as quickly as the football is, and so the Electra Tigers will take over on the Bulldog 31-yard line.
We have a flag.
We have a flag down. It is illegal procedure against the Bulldogs. Let's see if the Tigers want to ask them to kick this thing one more time. It appears that we are going to have this penalty declined. It is declined. It'll be first and 10 for the Electra Tigers. The ball resting on the Bulldog 31-yard line. The Tigers are out of the huddle very quickly and up over the ball, trying to catch the Bulldog defense a little bit confused. But the referee says, let's hold things and get the chain set properly, and then we'll let you have it.
The referee had to go get his flag, Jim. It was laying down on the end zone and on the far side of the field.
Robeson has the Tigers out, has them set. They're in the straight power pro set. Robeson there with the ball, going to his left, breaks two tackles,
and is tackled for about a 1-yard loss down there.
First to get 30 Covington.
Covington and Boatman on the tackle for the Bulldogs. 2 Bulldogs hit him in the backfield and could have thrown him for about a 1-yard loss, but missed him back there. Otherwise, it could have been a larger loss than just that 1-yard loss.
That's right, Jim. He ducked under one of the would-be tacklers. I believe that was Thomas Troxell that went high on him, and he ducked under him.
Well, Robeson has him out there in the pro set. Robeson with the football, going to his right, cuts it back inside, and is tackled there for no gain, but there is a flag down on the play. It appeared that one of those Bulldog linemen may have jumped off sides unless he was drawn off sides.
Gray and Daniel Williams were the tacklers on Robeson that time, Jim. They
I think it's going to be against
right there to meet him when he cut back with the football.
Well, the signal is offsides against the Bulldogs. That's going to be costly. It would have been 3rd down and 10 yards to go. But with that penalty, it's going to be 3rd down and 6 yards to go. So we'll have a 3rd down, 6 yards to go. 1 minute and 41 seconds remaining in the first quarter of play. The Electra Tigers in good field position at the Bulldog 27-yard line.
It's 2nd down, Jim.
That's right, 2nd down. I'm sorry, 2nd down with the penalty. It is 2nd down. So instead of 3rd and 10, it's 2nd and 7. Number 15, Willard with the carry, breaks the tackle and goes all the way to the 10-yard line. Before he stopped there,
Number 76.
by number 76, Daniel Williams. So we'll have a 1st down and goal to go. No, the officials have spotted that ball back at the 11-yard line, so it will be 1st and 10. The Tigers can make 1st down without making a touchdown, so the Bulldog defense really needs to stiffen at this point.
Got to buckle down here, Jim. They're down knocking at the door.
Robeson brings them out. Again, they're in the pro set. 2 backs behind him. Sets them down. Robeson back to pass. Pass is complete. Number 15, Harold Willett on the reception.
And number 30, Jerry Covington on the defense, Jim.
All right, number 30, Jerry Covington is all in there on that defense. Gain of 2 yards on the play. That'll bring up a 2nd down now and 9 yards to go.
I thought it was no game, Steve.
We're getting close on the thing.
Robeson brings him up, sets him down in the pro set again. Snap is back, Robeson back. Hands off to number 15, Willett. He's met there at the line of scrimmage by a host of Bulldogs. I believe that was Thomas Troxell was the first one to arrive.
John Norwood.
And John Norwood, the 2 linebackers teaming up to make that tackle.
And Blair Nelson.
Blair Nelson, the big defensive tackle, also in there. There is a gain of about 1 yard on the play. That brings up 3rd down and 7 yards to go with the ball at the 8-yard line. Robeson has them out, sets them down. And that is the end of the first quarter. With the score, Electra Tigers 0, Howe Bulldogs 0. We'll be back in just a moment to bring you the second quarter of action, but first a word from our sponsors.
Fletcher Funeral Home and Floral in Howe and Van Alstyne takes this time to salute our Howe Bulldogs this week. Fletcher Funeral Home and Floral is proud of our teams, wishing you the very best. When you need us, we're here to serve you and your loved ones. Call us 532-5577. Fletcher Funeral Home and Floral. Always here to serve you.
Well, Leon coming back to play now in the beginning of the second quarter. These Tigers look awfully strong down on the goal line. It's 3rd down and 7 yards to go from the 8-yard line as they break the huddle. And we have to remember they always have that strong kicker, but now he's going to have to kick into the teeth of that wind rather than with the wind.
That's right, Jim, and it will be definitely a factor if that's what it boils down to. So we got one more play before we find out.
Well, Robeson has them out and has them set. He's back. Rolling to his left, looking for a receiver, throwing into the end zone for number 83, Stephen Gaines, but overthrows him, and that will bring up the 4th down, 4th and 7.
That was close, Jim. This Gaines kid is a tall kid and a good-sized target for Robeson to throw to, but it was just a little bit tall for him.
Well, it looks like we're setting up for the try for the field goal. It was a field goal that won it for the Tigers last week against the Jacksboro football team. Robeson is the holder. Kick is up. Kick is good. That kick was by number 11, Jeff Rogers, rather than Darrell G., the man we expected to kick that, attempt that field goal. But that brings us to 11 minutes and 51 seconds remaining to be played in the second quarter. And we have a score. Well, we have a flag on the play. So let's hold everything, because it appears that this penalty may be against the Electra Tigers, and we may take those points off the board.
No.
Nope. We have an offsides called against the Bulldogs. It'll be enforced at the kickoff. And so again, with 11 minutes and 51 seconds remain to be played in the first half of action, the score now is Electra 3, Howe 0. Leon, that's exactly the score that these Tigers ended with last week.
That's right, Jim, and it was a close ball game, as I understand, and what I read in the paper, and we expected a close ball game here tonight, so that could be the final score here, but we got a lot of playing time left, so these Bulldogs haven't give up, that's for sure, so we'll just sit back here and watch and see how they operate on this series of downs.
That's right. These Bulldogs never say die. We've seen them come back many times this year, so hopefully this is just the beginning of another comeback. Well, number 11, Jeff Rogers, prepares to kick off for the Tigers, as we have deep for the Bulldogs, David Kennedy,
Brian Pettit, and Jerry Covington, Jim.
All right.
The ball comes to Jay Skipworth.
Skipworth hands the ball off. But the Tigers are not fooled with that little razzle-dazzle, and the ball ends up at the 20-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from their own 20-yard line. This time, though, Skipworth's going to have the wind to work with rather than the wind working against him. We'll see what the run and shoot does with the wind at his back.
Down on that kickoff, Jim, on the defense for the Tigers was number 40, Larry Hernandez, and this young man has made quite a few of those tackles tonight so far.
Well, Skipworth has him out in the run and shoot. Hawthorne left, Kennedy right. Skipworth rolls to his left. His pass is knocked down by number 83, Stephen Gaines, as he's right in Skipworth's face. Has no place to throw the football except right into the waiting arms of Stephen Gaines.
That was the only thing he could do, Jim, was throw it hard and hope he couldn't catch it, because he was all over him that time.
Well, with that incomplete pass, we now have a 2nd down and 10 yards to go. The ball still at the 20-yard line. Bulldogs moving south to north. Once again,
Gaines is kind of disappointed. He didn't intercept that ball, Jim. He's kind of upset with himself.
Skipworth back and hands the ball off to Clint Bray. Clint Bray takes the ball right up the middle for a good gain. The officials are going to spot it at the 26-yard line. That's a gain of 6 yards on the play. And again, Stephen Gaines is in on the tackle.
He was there, Jim, but he didn't make the tackle. He had a shot at him, but Bray was able to get away from him. The man making the final tackle was Larry Hernandez, that's number 40, who's all over the field also.
Well, we have a 3rd down now, 4 yards to go. Skipworth brings them up. Hawthorne left, Kennedy right, throw out to Kennedy. Kennedy receives the ball, and they're going to spot the ball right at the 30-yard line. There's a flag down on the play. Looks like there may have been a little extracurricular after the tackle as the Tigers were dragging Kennedy out of bounds, and Kennedy didn't want to go down. I think they tried to put him down.
He didn't want to go down, and he didn't until after the whistle was blown, Jim. But number 11, Jeff Rogers, again, number 40, Larry Hernandez, number 33, Travis Box, all in over there on defensive play, and officials threw that flag.
Well, we have a dead ball personal foul signaled against the Tigers, and that's going to be a big break for the Bulldogs, who will tack on 15 yards at the end of that play. That'll bring the ball all the way out to the 45-yard line in Bulldog end of the field. And we'll start all over again. 1st down, 10 yards to go for the Bulldogs. That was a nice pass play, by the way, from Jay Skipworth to David Kennedy that time. Well, the Bulldogs are out. They're in that run and shoot offense. Skipworth's back to pass, looking downfield. Throwing down the middle, that pass was intended for number 11, Stephen Hawthorne, falls just a little short. In fact, it was closer to the Tiger defender out there that time than it was to number 11, Hawthorne.
That's right, and on the putting the pressure on Jay Skipworth that time, Jim, was number 32, Juan Hernandez, and he was breathing down his neck just about the time he cut loose with the football.
Well, we have a 2nd down and 10 yards to go. Ball still at the 45-yard line. Jay Skipworth brings the Bulldogs out. Again in the run and shoot. Hawthorne left. Handoff up the middle to Clint Bray. Bray gains about 3 yards on that carry.
Harold Willett on the defensive play that time, Jim. He's also playing a good defensive ball game for these Tigers. There wasn't a whole lot of room in the middle to run that time.
Officially, they're going to give him 2 yards on the play. We'll make it a 3rd down, 8 yards to go. Bulldogs need a big play here on third down to keep this drive alive. Skipworth bringing them out, setting them up in the run and shoot. Hawthorne left, Kennedy right. Skipworth back, tosses the ball out to back out to Hawthorne real quickly. Just a quick out pattern. That pass is good for the first down. Takes the ball all the way down to the 41-yard line in the Electra Tiger territory. Leon, that's the first time we've had the ball in Electra territory tonight.
That's right, Jim, and that was a good play. And this Hawthorne has good hands, has all year, and that gives the Bulldogs a new lease on life right there. And number 10, Gerald Willett, puts a stop on Hawthorne on that last play.
Well, once again, we're out over the football. This time we go the quick pass to the right to Kennedy. But number 40, Hernandez, is out there awfully quickly and stops him for a very short gain. Looks like about 3 yards on the gain that time on the completion from Skipworth to Kennedy. These quarterbacks for the Electra Tigers cover that territory quickly, don't they, Leon?
They sure do, Jim. They've got good speed in the back defensive secondary for the Tigers, and so far they've shown that they can cover the territory and do the job.
Well, officially a 4-yard gain, second down and 6 yards to go. Skipworth has him out of the huddle and over the football. Skipworth back to pass, looking inside. The ball hits his primary receiver, Covington, right in the back and bounces in the air. And alert Stephen Hawthorne is there to pick that ball out of the air and take it for a first down. Takes it down to the 27-yard line. That'll be first down and 10 yards to go for the Bulldogs from the Tiger 27-yard line. Leon, that was an awfully alert play on the part of Stephen Hawthorne that time to pick up that first down.
That's right, Jim, and also shades of the old Pittsburgh Steelers days when Franco Harris did the same thing.
Well, we have Covington in motion. Skipworth back, the toss is to Covington, and the pass is incomplete. We have a quick defensive play out there. That looks like number 63, Timmy Bella, was the man making the hit on Covington, and the pass falls incomplete. That'll bring up a second down now. Second down and 10 yards to go for the Bulldogs. That was a good defensive effort that time. Covington was there.
He was open, Jim, and but the defense closed in pretty quick, and he just couldn't get a hold of the ball and take off with it.
Well, Skipworth brings them out. Second down, 10 yards to go. Hawthorne's left. Kennedy right. Covington in motion once again. Skipworth back, looking left, looking to his left, now running. Putting the ball up in the air for grabs. It's going to be intercepted in the end zone. Is that, I believe, number 10? Is that number 10?
That's right, Jim. Number 10, Gerald Willett, back there intercepting that pass in the end zone. Skipworth was decked about the time he let loose of the football. And I think he expected Stephen Hawthorne, number 11, to go on deeper than what he did. And Steve broke off his pattern because he thought Jay was in trouble, I believe.
Well, I believe that's one that Skipworth would like to have back, but unfortunately you can't get them back. The Tigers now have the ball, first and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Robeson brings them out. They set up once again in the pro set. Robeson goes back, hands the ball off to number 32, Hernandez. A very determined run on the part of Hernandez that time. There was really no hole there. He just powered his way forward for 5 yards. That'll bring up a second down and 5 yards to go. Blair Nelson, Thomas Troxtel, and
John Norwood, all on the defensive play, along with Kevin Gray. He finally got there, but
he's met at the 29-yard line. It depends upon the spot as to whether or not there is a first down on this play. Kennedy and Blair Nelson on the stop for the Bulldogs, and it is going to be fourth down. It's going to be just short as they met him at the 29-yard line. We have a fourth down and 1, but you can't ever expect these Tigers to put the ball, not with that number 83 Stephen Gaines in the ball game.
Jim, that's right, but they're going to set up in deep punt formation. Jeff Rogers back to do the punting.
The snap is back. Rogers' kick is up. It's a very short punt, very wobbly punt, but it's going to take a Tiger roll. The ball rolls all the way down into Bulldog territory to the 39-yard line, where the Bulldogs will take control of the football once again, first and 10 from their own 39-yard line. Well, the Bulldogs will need to score on this possession, Leon. They want to score with a wind at their back.
That's right, Jim, and that last possession, they moved the ball pretty well on their pass plays, with the exception of one that Covington didn't be able to hang on to.
Well, the Bulldogs are out of the huddle. They set up in that familiar run and shoot. They set up with Kennedy right, Hawthorne left. Covington goes in motion. Pitch back is to Bray. Bray sweeping to his right. There's nothing there. He reverses his field, comes back to the left, gets a couple of good blocks. Oh, there's flags all over the field. Bray breaks a tackle. He's still alive. He's at the 40, the 35, the 30. He breaks the tackle again and is finally brought down at the 21-yard line, but I believe, Leon, all of this is going to go for naught, as I believe we're going to have a clip way back down the field of play.
I believe so, Jim. We've got 4 flags on the field, and I believe it was a clip against the Bulldogs. And that's a shame, because that was a fine run by this young man, and I know he's going to have a breather after that, Jim, because he put a lot of effort into that.
Well, that was a tremendous effort on Bray's part. He covered a lot of ground out there to gain what yardage he gained. He's finally tackled by number 20, Robeson, joined by number 40, Larry Hernandez. A 40-yard gain is going to be wiped out. We're going to have a 15-yard penalty on this play rather than a 40-yard gain. What a shame that is for the Howe Bulldogs.
That's the way this game goes, Jim, and somebody got a good hit, but I'm not sure what they're going to do. I don't see a penalty marked off.
Well, they didn't mark a penalty off. I don't understand this. They just brought the ball back to the line of scrimmage and set it up 1st and 10. I'm not sure what went on down there. We never got an official signal.
And he didn't indicate he was waving that flag off, Jim, so I don't know what the story was. We'll try and find out and let him know.
Skipworth back, rolling to his right, throwing the ball deep downfield. His intended receiver is Kennedy, and it's way overthrown, about 6 yards overthrown. Kennedy had no chance to get that one as Skipworth, with a wind to his back, just aired it out and badly overthrew his receiver.
Texoma Radio, KTXO 1500, Sherman Denison.
Larry Hernandez was back covering Kennedy and almost running stride for stride with him that time, Jim. He had good coverage, but like you say, the ball was just overthrown.
Well, Skipworth is having some difficulties, it appears, adjusting to the wind tonight, but I'm sure he'll find his groove here in a little bit and get this passing attack on track. Once again, the Bulldogs are out, set up in the... Terry Covington was the receiver and gains no yardage as he's tackled right at the line of scrimmage.
Tim Jedden was one of the men there to bring him down, and several more. Jim, I didn't get their numbers.
Well, Trent Gibson was in there, and 2 or 3 other of the Tigers. I believe you're right on Jaton making the initial hit, slowing Covington down, and then just setting him up for the rest of them to come along and just clean up behind him. Well, we have a 3rd down now. 3rd down, 10 yards to go, ball at the 40-yard line. Skipworth has the Bulldogs out. He's back, pitches the ball back to Stephen Hawthorne. Hawthorne wants to throw. Looking back to this side, he's throwing to Skipworth, but Skipworth is out of bounds. Ball is incomplete. Number 10, Gerald Willett on the defense for the Tigers, but no defense was necessary as Skipworth had absolutely no chance to make the reception. He was out of bounds when he jumped for the ball, and so even had he caught it, it would have been incomplete. Well, we have a 4th down now. 4th and 10 for the Bulldogs. Jay Skipworth does the punting, and he's in the ball game.
Jim, I believe if Hawthorne had tucked that ball and took off, he had a little running room over on that side.
He had a lot of green carpet in front of him, but he chose to pass the ball. Skipworth's punt now. Again, the ball doesn't get up off the turf too far. And number 15, Willett, makes the reception and carries the ball out of bounds at the 16-yard line. So once again, the Tigers will have the football. They'll have it 1st and 10 at their own 16-yard line. We'll be back with all of the action in just a moment, but first, a word from these fine sponsors. Well, back to play. The Tigers are out of the huddle. Robeson has them set. Again, they set up in that pro set. Robeson back, hands the ball off to number 32, Hernandez. Troxtel meets him, but Hernandez just keeps driving. He must have tremendous strength in those legs because he drives Troxtel forward for about 2 or 3 yards. Jared Powell also coming in to finish that tackle off. Leon, we're going to have to find some way of keeping this Hernandez kid from making 3 yards once he's hit.
M&M Place in Howe is your one-stop for almost everything. Exxon Gas, deli, groceries, videos, hardware and plumbing. And M&M Place is open 7 days a week in Howe. M&M Place salutes the Howe Bulldogs and is proud of the team, coaches and other officials. Go all the way, Howe Bulldogs. This message of support from M&M Place in Howe, where one stop will probably be all you'll need.
Now is a good time of the year to make plans for a garden or lawn tractor. And Twin Cities Ford Tractor Highway 82 West in Sherman has a nice selection. Buy now and save. Twin Cities also has New Holland haymaking equipment, sales, service, repairs. Go by and find the tractor that fits your needs at Twin Cities Ford Tractor. Twin Cities Ford also has financing arrangements. Whether the job is large or small, Twin Cities Ford has the tractor for you. Located Highway 82 West, Sherman. Twin Cities Ford Tractor.
Jim, he's one of these stocky-built young men and must have tremendous power in those legs.
Well, Robeson has him out, back, hands the ball off to Willett. Willett spins at the line of scrimmage, goes for another 3 yards. Again, a 3-yard gain for the Tigers. John Norwood on the stop for the Bulldogs. Third down now and 4. Ball is at the 26-yard line, make it officially the 27-yard line, so make it officially third down and 3 yards to go for the Tigers. The ball on their own end of the field, moving from the north to the south, moving into this wind. Robeson has him out, sets him down, pro set offense. Robeson is back to pass, rolling to his left, throws the ball. Ball is complete to number 15, Willett. Willett breaks 2 tackles before he's finally taken out of bounds by number 7, Wade Carson. Troxtel and
David Canada.
Both had a shot at him. Both missed him. If Carson had not been there, it's going to be a long way down that sideline for number 15, Willett.
He had an opening.
Well, we have first down now for the Tigers. The ball is spotted out at the 40-yard line. First and 10 for the Electra Tigers from their own 40. A 20-yard gain on that play. Robeson brings them out and sets them down. They're in the wing this time, wing T formation. Pitch back is to number 32, Hernandez. He's hit at the line of scrimmage. Hit there by number 56, Thomas Troxtel. There's a flag down on the play. Number 45, David Kennedy, also in there that time. We're going to call that number and Troxtel's number and Norwood's number. It seems like a lot tonight, Leon.
That's right. These young men have played a fine defensive ball game so far, Jim. But we had a flag on that play, and we're going to have to wait and see what happened.
Well, we have offside signal against the Bulldogs. This anxiousness that they have to get off the snap has cost them 3 times now, Leon. We're going to have to settle down and just play solid defense like they've played all year long. Otherwise, we're going to continue to dig a hole for ourselves. First down still, 5 yards to go now. Robeson has them out. Man in motion. The pitch back to Willett. Flag on the play. Willett sweeps the left side of the line, where he's met by 3 of the Bulldogs.
Wade Carson, number 7, and number 30, Jerry Covington, and number 32, John Norwood, Jim. That was the 3 Bulldogs that got over there to make the stop.
Well, we had a 7-yard gain on the play. Let's see what that flag's all about. We have a clipping signaled against the Tigers, and so both teams are self-destructing here with the penalty. We'll mark off 15 yards, wipe out that nice 7-yard run, and it'll bring up still first down. But now, instead of first and 5, we'll have first and 20. First down, 20 yards to go for the Tigers. The ball now spotted at the 31-yard line. Leon, both teams have had their penalty problems already in this first half.
Yes, Jim, and both penalties have come at crucial times, too. It's kind of hurt both of them, and maybe these pregame jitters by the half might wear off and we'll settle down and not have them this second half.
Well, we hope so. Number 20, Robeson, has them down, back, hands the ball off to number 32, Hernandez. Hernandez is met at the line of scrimmage, but still manages to gain a yard. So that'll bring up a second down now. Second down and 19 yards to go. Leon, good defensive work in there in the middle of the Bulldog line.
Good defense. Blair Nelson, Kevin Gray, Thomas Troxtel, John Norwood, all up in there doing a fine job so far, and we just hope they can hold out and continue to do a good job.
Well, once again, Robeson has them out. Second down, 19 yards to go. Has Hernandez in motion, hands the ball to him, sweeping to his left. Caught behind the line of scrimmage on an excellent defensive play back there by number 32, Norwood. Norwood makes an excellent play to drop the ball carrier for looks like about a 5-yard loss on the play.
That's right, and he had some assistance in there from Danny Williams, number 76, and number 55, Jared Powell that time. Good coverage on that sweep that the Tigers tried to go to the left side that time.
Well, we have a third down now, 22 yards to go. Third and 22 for the Tigers. The ball at their own 28-yard line. Robeson brings them out. Hernandez goes in motion left to right. Handoff right up the middle to Hernandez. Doesn't fool anyone on that quick handoff. They do gain about 5 yards on the play. We have a timeout now being signaled on the play.
Thomas Troxtel in on the defensive play, but he was hit first in the backfield back there by number 64, Kevin Gray.
It was excellent defense on the part of the Bulldogs. They have called a timeout to stop the clock as they now have a fourth down and 17 yards to go for the Tigers, and there's 2 minutes and 24 seconds remaining to be played in the first half of tonight's football game. While we have a timeout on the field, we'll take you back to the studios for a word from some of the good folks who are making tonight's broadcast possible.
Playoff time, and the Howe Bulldogs have really been great this year. Howe's Old Time Bakery takes this opportunity to salute the Howe Bulldogs and wishes them success. Howe's Old Time Bakery boasts of the best hamburger steaks in the county. Come on by before the ball games, because they're open each Friday during football season at 4 p.m. That's Howe's Old Time Bakery. It's that time again for the playoffs, and the Howe Bulldogs are right up there mixing it up. Flesher Funeral Home would like to congratulate the team and all the people working with them and wish them a season's win. This message of support from Flesher Funeral Home, and remember to write this number down for an emergency so you will be ready. For oxygen-equipped ambulance service, call Flesher Funeral Home, 532-5577, 532-5577, Flesher Funeral Home.
Right. Jeff Rogers back to punt for the Tigers as we go back to play. Fourth down, 17 yards to go.
Kennedy.
David Kennedy is deep for the Bulldogs to receive Rogers' punt. The referee says let's play ball. Steps away from the line of scrimmage. Tigers set over the ball. Snap is back. Rogers' kick is blocked. Rogers' kick is blocked.
Norwood got it.
John Norwood has the football and is stopped at the 40-yard line, but there is flags on the play, so we'll have to wait and see.
I don't think he can call it if it's called running the kicker because they touched the ball.
The officials are discussing the penalty.
He blocked it.
They're discussing it, it appears, with the Bulldogs.
Number 11, Stephen Hawthorne got in and blocked the punt. No, there wasn't.
Offsides is the signal against the Bulldogs.
No.
Stephen Hawthorne is the man that blocked that punt, or at least partially blocked that punt, but we'll wipe that out. We wipe out another good break for the Bulldogs with a penalty. Step off 5 yards against the Bulldogs. It'll still be fourth down. It'll be fourth down now and 12 yards to go for the Tigers, and they'll still be, we anticipate at least, deep punt formation. Indeed, Rogers does drop back into deep punt formation. David Kennedy is deep to receive the punt for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs are up on the line of scrimmage once again trying to block the punt. Rogers does get this one off. It's a short punt. Kennedy gets away from it, lets it roll. It's taking another Tiger roll. And the ball rolls dead now at the 32-yard line in Bulldog territory. Leon, all of the breaks have seemingly gone the way of the Tigers in the first half. All the rolls have gone their way on these kicks. Maybe the second half will be Bulldog half.
Well, let's hope that it comes out on an even basis, Jim, and therefore if it does break even, then the Bulldogs will get to break the second half, and it looks like that's when we're going to need it the most.
Well, with 2 minutes and 3 seconds remaining in the first half of play, Jay Skipworth brings the Bulldogs out, sets them up, drops back, rolls to his right, looks for Stephen Hawthorne, looking downfield, throws the ball to Hawthorne, incomplete as Willett makes an excellent defensive play. Jeff Willett stepped in front, almost intercepted that ball, but made sure that Hawthorne didn't receive the pass.
Awful close, Jim. He was just a matter of thousandths of a second being there to intercept that ball.
Well, second down and 10 yards to go. 1 minute 55 seconds remaining now in the first half of play. Jay Skipworth brings the Bulldogs out. Once again, the run and shoot offense. Stephen Hawthorne to the left, David Kennedy to the right, Jerry Covington in motion. Skipworth back to pass. Pass is received by David Kennedy, good for a first down. Pass completion good for 13 yards. No, make that 16 yards. Pass completion good for 16 yards.
Is like the end.
Looking for passes there. It's the pass. Bullet number 10's.
He used a kind of pass, but hang on to.
So now second and 10. Ball still left. Kennedy right. Man in motion. Skipworth back, rolling to his right. Throwing the ball up for grabs, it looks like, for Hawthorne. Hawthorne misses the pass. Once again, number 10, Gerald Willett is back there, Leon, for the Tigers. Willett seems to be where the ball is.
That's two that Stevens had his hands on, old Jim, and of course, Willett was in his face between him and the ball, but the ball hit him right in the chest.
Well, if Skipworth could have looked downfield. Jerry Covington was running wide open about 5 yards beyond Hawthorne that time. Would have been an easy 6.
That's right, Jim, but I don't know whether Jay can throw the ball that far or not. He has a good arm, but might be asking a little bit too much of him.
Well, 3rd and 10. Bulldogs down over the ball. Skipworth calling the signals, back to pass. Passes the ball to number 11, Stephen Hawthorne, behind the line of scrimmage. Hawthorne passes the ball. It's intercepted by number 40, Larry Hernandez. Hernandez bringing the ball back to the 38-yard line where he's met by Jerry Covington for the Bulldogs. And number 44, Clint Bray, in on that tackle. And the Tigers will take over once again as another Bulldog drive is stalled and halted by a pass interception. Hawthorne's pass that time never had a chance, Leon.
No, the man was wide open. He had a good 3 steps on the defender, but the ball was underthrown, Jim, and that was the reason they didn't get the completion.
Well, with 1:24 remaining to be played in the first half of play, the Tigers take possession of the football. First down, 10 yards to go from their own 37-yard line. Robeson brings them out, sets them down. Hernandez goes in motion left to right. Robeson rolling out to his left, tossing the ball to Willett. Willett takes the ball for a nice gain out there. Nice pass reception. Well-devised pass play. That's the kind of pass play that's hard to defend.
That's the kind that's hard to get on because that's almost just comes into being a sweep as soon as he clears that line of scrimmage. And number 30, Jerry Covington, did a fine job getting out there and getting his hands on him. Otherwise, he'd been long gone, Jim.
Well, a 7-yard gain on that play. Second down and 3 yards to go. The ball at the 30, make that the 44-yard line. Robeson brings them out and sets them down. Willett comes in motion. Robeson back, rolling out, rolling to his right, rolling to his left, passes the ball. The ball's intended for number 30. That's Noel Hernandez, and hits him right in the hands. That's the worst place to hit a receiver, I guess, because we're not catching them tonight on either side.
Neither side is doing too good a job of catching the ball, Jim. Haven't yet, anyway.
Well, 3rd down now, 3rd and 3. I've always heard that the worst place for a quarterback to hit a receiver is right in the hands, and we're finding that to be true tonight. Robeson brings him out. Sets him down. Tigers set up in the wing T offense. Robeson back, hands the ball. No, keeps the ball. No, he did hand the ball. Hand the ball, number 32, Hernandez. Juan Hernandez. Hernandez is stopped for no gain. There's a timeout signal on the field. Timeout for the Howe Bulldogs as it brings up now a 4th down and 3 yards to go for the Electra Tigers. This Robeson is tricky with that football. He faked me out twice on that play. I thought he handed it, then I thought he kept it, and he did hand it. So I hope the Bulldogs down there on the field are having an easier time than I am up here in the booth.
On the defense that time for the Bulldogs, Jim, was the entire center of that line. Blair Nelson, Kevin Gray, John Norwood, Thomas Troxdell, all in there to make the stop.
Well, the Tigers say we're ready to play ball. The referee says that's fine with me. Jeff Rogers drops back in punt formation. David Kennedy deep to receive the punt for the Howe Bulldogs. Snap is back. It's a low snap. Rogers handles the punt, handles the pass, gets the punt off. It's a short punt and takes a Bulldog bounce this time. It's killed down there on the 37-yard line, so the Bulldogs will take possession of the football. 1st and 10 at their own 37-yard line. We have 56 seconds remaining to be played in the first half of tonight's football game. Now the officials say let's spot the ball down at the 38-yard line, so it'll be 1st and 10 for the Howe Bulldogs from their own 38-yard line with 56 seconds remaining. Leon, they're going to air this one out, or do you think they'll play it conservative the last 56 seconds?
Jim, I believe they've got everything to gain and nothing to lose, so they're going to put it in the air.
Well, there's...
Overhead door of Sherman and Denison. 316 West Chestnut says if your garage door breaks, falls apart, or just needs attention, repairs, and maintenance, give us a call at 463-2083 in Denison, or in McKinney, 545-1111. In Denton, 383-3310. In Greenville, 455-3007. And in Paris, 785-0700. Overhead door of Sherman and Denison. Our slogan says, we sell the best and service the rest. Call Bob or Scott at 463-2083 or come by Overhead Door of Sherman and Denison at 316 West Chestnut, Denison.
To Covington on that play. That brings up a nice first down. First down, 10 yards to go. Bulldogs have the ball at the Tiger 30-yard line. Skipworth brings them out, sets them down. Sends Money Walker in motion. Skipworth back to pass. Throws the ball deep down the right side of the field. He has a receiver out there. Pass is incomplete. Oh, that was close.
That was close. David Kennedy had a chance to get the ball, but Jay Skipworth really took a lick as he let go of the ball, Jim, and I don't think he's able to put quite as much on it as he would have been if it had not been hit at the time he released the ball.
Well, the ball did hang in the air. Hung there a long time, gave the defensive back time to adjust to the receiver. That could have been 6 very easily. Second down, 10 yards to go. Ball still at the 30-yard line. Skipworth brings him out and sets him down. Covington in motion. Skipworth back looking for Hawthorne deep down the left side of the field. Now he tucks the ball down and goes around the left side, goes out of bounds. Goes out of bounds at the 25-yard line. It'll be a 5-yard gain. Third down, 5 yards to go, but more importantly, that stops the clock.
That's right, Jim. He used his head and got out of bounds.
Well, we stop the clock with 35 seconds to play. It'll bring up third down, 3rd and 5. Could be that we'll get an opportunity to see Stephen Hawthorne attempt a field goal here before the end of the first half if we're not successful picking up this first down.
That's right, Jim. He's got the wind to his back, too, in his favor. So we got this down and one more to see what happens.
Skipworth has him out, sets him down, sends Covington in motion. Back to pass, rolling to his right, looking down the field for David Kennedy. Throws the ball. Kennedy's wide open. We have a pass reception. Yes, it is complete. Official signal timeout for the first down. It is a first down. David Kennedy went to his knees and made a nice reception that time, Leon.
That's right. He did a real good job catching the ball. And now they're going to got 27 seconds as soon as they start the clock, as soon as the chain's marked. And they got 27 seconds to play with here and possibly tie this game up.
13 yards from the end zone. Skipworth. Pass out intended for Hawthorne. It is intercepted by number 10, Gerald Willett. Gerald Willett has nothing but green carpet in front of him. If it had not been for Clint Bray, it would have been a long touchdown or interception for the Electra Tigers. And once again, the Bulldogs are brought to a halt by that nemesis, the pass interception.
That's right, Jim, and you hate to see that kind of play happen when they're down there close and with a chance to tie the ball game up, but that's football, and we just have to take it as it comes.
Well, Robeson has them out with 17 seconds remaining to be played in the first half. Toad takes the ball down to one knee. It appears that the Tigers are satisfied with this 3-0 lead in the first half. It'll be second down now, second 11, 5 seconds, 4 seconds. We're just going to let the clock run out here in the first half of play. And that is the end of the first half. With the score, Electra Tigers 3, Howe Bulldogs 0. We'll be back with halftime report for you in just a moment.
The Howe football team is great and has been very successful this year. Meadowbrook Nursing Home in Van Alstyne is proud of the Howe Bulldogs and wants them to achieve the utmost in their efforts. Go all the way, team. This message of support is from Meadowbrook Nursing Home, 100 Windsor Street in Van Alstyne. Come by and visit our facilities at your convenience, and we will show you around and answer any questions. That's Meadowbrook Nursing Home in Van Alstyne. Congratulations to the Howe Bulldogs from Magnifab. Go all the way, team, and win. Stomp 'em, dogs. Magnifab hopes you have the very best game ever. Magnifab Southwest Company, Highway 75 in Howe, with metal fabrication, is backing the Bulldogs of Howe. Go, team.
Well, Leon, while we have a break here in the first half where bands are on the field, that Howe Bulldog band is on the field right now. Bulldog band is consistently one of the better bands in 2A in the state of Texas, and they're doing their usual fine job down there.
That's right, Jim, and this is an asset to the community of Howe. They have brought pride to the community and to their school through this band program, and Mr. Elmer Shank does an outstanding job with these young people, and I'd just like to say thanks to Mr. Shank and his staff and to the school board of trustees in Howe and the superintendent, Pete Simmons, for supporting this band program. I served on the school board some 12 years in Howe, and I was there when they first started this band, and I'm proud to say that I had a very small part in its beginning, and I'm here to tell you that I'm really proud of these young people and the fine job that they do, and Miss Betty Mullins and this highlighter team that she has, they also do an equally outstanding job in their performance.
Well, we were talking about the consistency of the football programs and the football coaches. Elmer Shank has been band director in Howe for 13 years. And out of those 13 years, this band has been to the state marching band finals. 11 out of the 13 years have won it twice, finished second twice, have been the state, have won sweepstakes on several occasions, have been the TMEA honor band on one occasion. That's all they've been eligible to this point. You can only be named the honor band every so often. They're eligible again next year, and we're looking forward to them bringing that honor back to Howe, Texas at that time. Well, let's talk about the statistics and talk about tonight's football game. The first half of play has been exciting as we expected it to. It's been defensive-oriented as we expected it to. Leon, as I've watched the first half of play, I've been impressed that these Bulldogs have moved the ball at will, but just when they get inside the 10-yard line, begin to self-destruct, and they have thrown pass interceptions down there. They have been guilty of penalties down there, and they have stopped themselves. And that's not taking anything away from this Electra Tiger football team. They've done a good job defensively, but the Bulldogs have really had a hand in stopping themselves tonight.
Jim, that's right. You know, the game is down in the trenches, and it's like the old saying goes, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And so far, these Bulldogs just haven't been able to get going down inside that 10 or 20-yard line. But both teams are playing a real good football game. We can't take anything away from either side. I believe we're going to see another good second half of good, solid football. But so far, these Bulldogs, to me, and I'm not looking at the statistics right now, but I believe that they've whipped them everywhere except on the scoreboard, Jim.
Well, I believe you're right, Leon. I've noted that if it hadn't been for about 3 ill-advised passes, so 2 on the part of Skipworth, 1 on the part of Hawthorne, it could easily be a 3-touchdown advantage for the Bulldogs right now. Well, our statistician is working on tonight's halftime stats, and so while we wait for those, let's go back to the station for a word from the nice folks who are helping make this broadcast possible. Electra, out of what they like to do best, which is run the ball, force them to have to pass the ball a little more often, and see if we can't disrupt this offensive scheme of the Electra Tigers. We're controlling them now. If we can disrupt their scheme a little bit, I think we'll turn this football game around second half.
We certainly hope so, Jim, that they can turn things around. And I believe they will, as we said during the halftime program, that they are a second-half ball club, or have been all season, and we expect them to come out and play just that much harder this second half.
Well, the teams are getting ready on the sidelines, loosening up, getting ready for the second half. We'll be right back with the second-half kickoff in just a moment.
Now is a good time of the year to make plans for a garden or lawn tractor. And Twin Cities Ford Tractor Highway 82 West in Sherman has a nice selection. Buy now and save. Twin Cities also has New Holland haymaking equipment, sales, service, repairs. Go by and find the tractor that fits your needs at Twin Cities Ford Tractor. Twin Cities Ford also has financing arrangements. Whether the job is large or small, Twin Cities Ford has the tractor for you. Located Highway 82 West, Sherman, Twin Cities Ford Tractor.
It's that time again for the playoffs, and the Howe Bulldogs are right up there mixing it up. Flesher Funeral Home would like to congratulate the team and all the people working with them and wish them a season's win. This message of support from Flesher Funeral Home, and remember to write this number down for an emergency so you will be ready. For oxygen-equipped ambulance service, call Flesher Funeral Home, 532-5577, 532-5577, Flesher Funeral Home. The Howe football team is great and has been very successful this year. Meadowbrook Nursing Home in Van Alstyne is proud of the Howe Bulldogs and wants them to achieve the utmost in their efforts. Go all the way, team. This message of support is from Meadowbrook Nursing Home, 100 Windsor Street in Van Alstyne. Come by and visit our facilities at your convenience, and we will show you around and answer any questions. That's Meadowbrook Nursing Home in Van Alstyne.
Kicking. The teams are on the field now, teeing the football up for the Howe Bulldogs. Preparing to kick off this second half of action tonight is number 11, Stephen Hawthorne. Deep to receive for the Electra Tigers is number 11, Jeff Rogers. Number 30, Noel Hernandez, and number 32, Juan Hernandez. Hawthorne will be kicking with the wind to his back. Looking for a good kick downfield, put the Electra Tigers in a hole to begin with here in the second half of play. The referee says let's start action. Hawthorne approaches the football, gets his toe into the football, gets a good kick right down the middle of the field. The ball bounces over Hernandez's head, in through and out of the end zone. The ball will be brought back out to the 20-yard line, where the Electra Tigers will begin the second half of play. First down and 10 yards to go from their own 20-yard line. That was an excellent kick with the wind. Leon, it even points up more the crucial nature of that pass interception at the end of the first half. Hawthorne easily could have kicked that field goal to tie this ball game up without that pass interception.
I believe he could have, Jim, had the opportunity been presented to him.
Well, Robeson has the Tigers out, has them down. They're still in that pro set offense. Hands the ball to Willett. A nice open field tackle there by number 22, James Boatman, to throw Willett for a 3-yard loss. The ball is now placed down at the 17-yard line. Second down and 13 yards to go for the Electra Tigers. Leon, that was an excellent open field tackle by James Boatman.
Good tackle. He got down low on him, and, that's where you're going to have to get to this young man and get him low, because those powerful legs of his can carry tacklers with him.
Well, number 20, Robeson, has the Tigers down. Pitches the ball back to number 32, Hernandez. Hernandez breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, goes back to the original line of scrimmage, gaining 3 yards. Down now at the 20-yard line. Thomas Troxtel makes a fine defensive stop there at the 20-yard line. That'll bring up a third down and 10 yards to go for the Tigers. Troxtel has been very active tonight. He's been where the ball is, and that's been his style of play all year long. Leon.
All year long, Jim. He's a ball hog. He's where the ball is on every down. He's somewhere close by.
Robeson has the Tigers out of the huddle, has them set, hands the ball back to Willett. Number 30, Noel Hernandez is the ball carrier. James Boatman, number 22, again making a fine tackle on the play. This Robeson is an awfully good ball carrier. He faked me out again. I just knew he had pitched that ball back to number 15, Willett.
It's kind of hard to keep up with him, Jim. He did a good job faking the ball, and John Norwood made the stop for the defensive play on the Bulldogs' part on that last play.
Well, we have a fourth down and 9 yards to go. Rogers is deep to punt for the Tigers. A low snap. He gets the ball up. There's flags down on the play. The punt goes out of bounds at the 44-yard line. A very short punt for the Electra Tigers. A 15-yard, or make that a 23-yard net gain on that punt. The officials are discussing this penalty. Once again, the officials go to the sidelines talking to the head linesman. And we're waiting the signal from the referee now as to what this penalty might be.
Jim, I believe they're saying that the offensive center is moving the ball or hitching the ball prior to the snap. I'm not sure that that's what it is, but I believe that's what it is.
Well, you must be right. Illegal procedure is the signal. Offsides against the Bulldogs also is signaled, so we have offsetting penalties. We'll bring all of that back. We'll do it all once again. We'll still have a fourth down and 9 yards to go for the Tigers. Jeff Rogers will go back once again for the Tigers into deep punt formation. David Kennedy is the deep receiver for the Howe Bulldogs. Bulldogs have 10 men up within the 1 yard of the line of scrimmage. Rogers has the snap back. Good snap this time. Gets the punt up. Again, a short punt. The ball is going to go out of bounds, takes a Bulldog bounce, and we still go out of bounds at the 44-yard line. And so once again, we have a 23-yard punt. Just as we did on the play previous, the Bulldogs will have the football. First down and 10 yards to go from the Tiger 44-yard line. Win at their back. This could be the series.
This could be it, Jim, and we hope that they can put it together and move the ball down and get in that end zone this time.
Will Skipworth brings them out, sets them up in the run and shoot. Stephen Hawthorne to the left, David Kennedy to the right. Skipworth over the ball now. Calling his signal count, back to pass, rolls to his right, looking downfield, looking for Stephen Hawthorne. Pass is underthrown. Hawthorne went inside, the pass went outside. Number 10, Gerald Willett is there again for the defense. Pass is incomplete. Second down, 10 yards to go. Leon, that pass just looked like an errant route or an errant throw one. The ball went outside. The receiver went inside.
That's right, Jim, and I don't quite understand that, but he might have seen that Gerald Willett had a good coverage on the receiver and just went ahead and dunked it out there in the flat to save possibly an interception again.
Well, once again, Skipworth brings them out and sets them up. They're set up again in the run and shoot. Hawthorne left, Kennedy right. Jerry Covington in motion to his right. Skipworth back, throwing the ball downfield. Jerry Covington makes an outstanding catch there in the middle of the field, breaking tackles, and is finally tackled at the 30-yard line.
What a fine play for Jerry Covington. He caught that ball and just would not go down, and number 20, Joseph Roberson, finally put the stop on him, but not until he gained more than enough yardage for a first down. Fine effort on Jerry Covington's part, Jim.
Excellent athletic play that time. Jerry Covington would not be denied. Took that ball in the middle of the field in heavy traffic. Finished it off with a 14-yard gain. Skipworth has him out and down. Back, hands the ball to number 11, Stephen Hawthorne. Hawthorne sweeping to the right. Gets a good block downfield. Cuts back to the middle. Looks like he's at the 20-yard line and the 15-yard line at the 13-yard line before he's finally stopped down there by the Electra Tigers.
Number 33, I believe, Jim,
Travis Box.
Travis Box finally putting a stop on him.
A nice 17-yard carry for Stephen Hawthorne. That's an unusual role that Hawthorne played that time. We normally see him catching the ball downfield instead of carrying the ball from the backfield, but a well-designed play. Had the Tigers caught flat-footed, got an awfully good block from David Kennedy. Skipworth back, throws the ball up into the corner of the end zone. It's complete down there. No, he's dropped the football. David Kennedy had the football in his hands in the corner of the end zone. Looked like a touchdown. At the last minute, dropped the football. He was covered awfully closely down there by number 11, Jeff Rogers, and also by number 40, Larry Hernandez. It would have been an outstanding catch if he made it.
I thought it was 6, Jim, like everybody else in the stands, but right at the last minute, the ball come popping out.
Well, at the 14-yard line, the Bulldogs have the football. Second down, 10 yards to go. Skipworth has them out. Back to pass, hands the ball off to Clint Bray. Bray is met right at the line of scrimmage. Now, he never did go down, but that whistle blew. They said his forward progress had stopped. And who do you suppose put the stop on him that time? It was number 63, Timmy Bella. And number 83, Stephen Gaines, was in there to turn Clint Bray back inside. They give him a gain of, they give him a loss of 4 yards. Correction. The ball now is at the 23-yard line, or make it the 18-yard line. Third down now, 13 yards to go. Skipworth has them out. Back to pass, rolling to his left, looking downfield, stopping, setting up, throwing the ball. Oh, Hawthorne almost had the reception. Number 10, Gerald Willett, was right on his back. Looked to me like Willett might have gotten there just a hair early, but the officials didn't see it that way.
Didn't see it that way, Jim. Mighty close, but it fell incomplete. He was well covered on the play. And, Skipworth does a pretty good job throwing that ball rolling to his left, Benz. He's a right-handed young man, and he got the pass off well enough that time, but just not enough on it for Hawthorne to hang on to it.
Well, here's a critical play, Leon. We're going to have a 35-yard field goal attempt by number 11, Stephen Hawthorne. Jay Skipworth is the holder. Snap is back. The ball is down. Kick is up. Kick is loaded up. Kick is good. They have a tie score now. 3-3. Howe Bulldogs, the Electra Tigers, with 8 minutes and 14 seconds remaining to be played in the third quarter. Leon, we needed that one.
We needed that one, Jim, and we got it. Good kick on the part of Stephen Hawthorne. And, we got a new ball game, Jim.
We do. We started this way a little over 2 hours ago, or about an hour and a half ago. And we started at a tie score. We're going to start over again with a tie score with 8 minutes and 13 seconds remaining to be played in the third quarter of play. We'll take you back to the studios for a word from our sponsors. Well, Leon, that previous field goal attempt on the part of Stephen Hawthorne would have been good from another 15 yards out.
Believe so, Jim. Believe so. Had lots of room to carry.
Well, he had the wind to his back, and that, of course, was to his advantage. He's now teeing the ball up, preparing to kick off. Hawthorne back to kick. Same three back for the Tigers to receive. Hawthorne's kick goes down the middle. A good, strong kick again. The ball hits number 30. Noel Hernandez rolls through the end zone. Will be brought back for the touchback. The rule says when the impetus of the kick carries the ball into the end zone, it's a touchback. If that receiver had carried it into the end zone or had put it back into the end zone, then it would have been a different story. We'd have had a safety. But
we'd have had 2 points out of it if that had been the case.
We bring the ball out to the 20-yard line. Electra Tigers will start from their own 20. First down, 10 yards to go. This is where we were just a few minutes ago. And the Bulldogs will try to put that defensive effort together again and stop these Tigers one more time. Number 20, Joseph Roberson brings the Tigers out, sets them down, goes back, hands the ball to number 32, Juan Hernandez. The Bulldogs meet him right at the line of scrimmage. He still bulls his way forward for a 2-yard gain.
Troxell, Gray, and Boatman in on the defensive play, Jim. They met him at the line of scrimmage. And, Jim, I was watching that offensive line for Electra on that play, and, man, they get off the ball quick, especially that right guard. He was off that ball like a bolt of lightning.
They do that. They're awfully quick. They're just not moving that defensive front of the Howe Bulldogs. Hernandez made that 2 yards by himself. Robeson has him out and down. Hernandez is in motion to the left. Pitch back to Juan Hernandez, trying the left side on the sweep. He stopped for a 2-yard gain. Stopped over there by number 32, John Norwood, and number 30, Jerry Covington.
And Jared Powell, number 55, also in on the defensive play for him, Jim. That right side over there of Covington, Powell, Norwood has done a good job. And they seem to like to run that sweep to the left side, Jim, for some reason or other.
Well, once again, we have a big 3rd down play for the Electra Tigers. 3rd down, 6 yards to go. Willett comes in motion. Robeson has the snap, back to pass, rolling to his left, throwing the ball. Ball is incomplete, intended out there for number 30. That's Noel Hernandez. Number 45, David Kennedy, providing the defensive effort for the Howe Bulldogs. And now it'll be 4th down and 6 yards to go for the Electra Tigers. And they're going to have to give that football up to that Bulldog offense one more time.
Bulldog defense rose to the occasion, Jim, and helped them. Now they're going to be forced to punt the ball. At least they're going to line up in punt formation.
Well, number 11, Jeff Rogers, goes deep to punt the ball for the Electra Tigers. Number 45, David Kennedy, is deep to receive. High snap. Rogers controls it, gets it off. Again, it's a short punt. It takes a Bulldog bounce again. It is caught down there and down by one of the Electra Tigers. Number 82 is the man, Chris Lucas. The Bulldogs have been here, I think, just a few moments ago. We're at the 44-yard line. 1st down, 10 yards to go. In Electra's end of the field, Bulldog football, 1st and 10. Let's see if we can't have a similar result. Put another score up on the board for the Bulldogs this time. Jay Skipworth brings the Bulldogs out, sets them down in that run-and-shoot offense. Hawthorne left, Kennedy right. Handoff up the middle to Clint Bray. Clint Bray is hit, drags the tackler forward for another 3 yards, gains 6 yards total on the play. Juan Hernandez making the tackle, that All-State linebacker for the Electra Tigers. A gain of 6 yards, 2nd down, 4 yards to go. When you have 2nd and 4, it's a whole lot easier to play football than it is when you have 2nd and 10, isn't it, Lee?
Very true, Jim, and Joseph Roberson was in on the defensive play.
Once again, Skipworth back, hands the ball to Bray. Bray goes forward, gaining about another yard on that carry. On the defense that time is number 65, Tim Jeton. Tim Jeton making the stop. A gain of 1 for Clint Bray on that carry. 3rd down and 3 yards to go. It looks like the Bulldogs have decided to see if they can penetrate the middle of that offensive line, or that defensive line, one more time. Skipworth has them out, has them down, set, back, fakes into the middle of the line, throws the pass over the middle. Monty Walker on the reception, a good reception with 2 defenders hanging on him. Takes the ball down to the 24-yard line. It'll be 1st down, 10 yards to go for the Howe Bulldogs.
Jeff Rogers in on the defensive play that time, Jim, to stop Monty Walker, but not until he got more than enough yardage for the 1st down, and Skipworth really zipped that ball into him that time.
Well, Monty Walker's only a sophomore, doesn't play like a sophomore. Skipworth back. Hands the ball to Clint Bray. Clint Bray takes it over the right guard, takes it down to the 20-yard line. It'll be a gain there of about 4 yards. Number 40, Larry Hernandez on the tackle for the Electra Tigers. It'll be 2nd down. 2nd down, 6 yards to go for the Howe Bulldogs. Leon, this offensive machine is now on track.
It's clicking better right now.
The deep out pattern. Hawthorne running the post pattern. Hawthorne pulled up short. The ball went right between the 2 receivers.
Looked like they didn't really know which one that pass was supposed to be intended for, Jim. I don't quite understand what their thinking was, but it looked like the primary receiver was Stephen Hawthorne.
Well, we have a 3rd down now. 3rd down, 6 yards to go for the Bulldogs. Skipworth back to pass. Throws the ball out to his favorite receiver, Hawthorne. Hawthorne takes it out at the 7-yard line. Takes it on down to the 4th-yard line. 4th down, goal for the Howe Bulldogs. reception that time.
Fine play, fine catch for Stephen Hawthorne, and did a pretty good job running the ball too, Jim. After he caught it, he got it down to the 4-yard line, and the Bulldogs are knocking at the door.
Indeed he did. He split those two defenders, took it down for another 3 yards after he caught the football. A nice 13-yard gain on that play. Bulldogs have the ball now, first down, goal to go. Ball spotted at the 4-yard line in Electra's territory. Come out with a stacked full T backfield. Hand the ball to number 44, Clint Bray. Takes the ball down to just short of the goal line.
He's down about 1 foot line, looks like, Jim, from up here. Our vantage point doesn't give us a real good view.
Well, the nose of the football is touching the 1-yard line going in, so he's at about the 2-foot line.
That's right, Jim. Second down and knocking on the door. If they can get it in here, it's going to give them a big boost.
Once again, come up into the T. Stack T offense. Clint Bray once again taking the left side of the line. No signal yet from the officials. And they're saying he stopped short one more time. It looked to me from here that he got across that goal line. But the one that counts is that one standing down there on the goal line with that black and white striped shirt. The nose of the football has to be touching the goal line, Leon.
It's awful close. We've got 2 more downs to get it in.
Third down now, goal to go for the Howe Bulldogs. Skipworth brings them up. Once again, they're in the stacked full T backfield. Takes the snap, hands the ball. Bray is over for the touchdown. 6 points for the Howe Bulldogs. That gives the Bulldogs the lead for the first time in tonight's football game with 3 minutes, 33 seconds to play in the first half. We have a score, Howe Bulldogs 9. Electra Tigers 3 with a try for extra point to come, and the one to kick that extra point will be number 11, Stephen Hawthorne.
That's right, Jim. He got them down there on that pass reception along with a couple of good runs by Clint Bray, so they're going to line up now and try for the extra point.
Appears to be a little confusion on the Bulldog side of the ball. There seemed to be a player short. And now we have a timeout signaled on the field. Timeout, Howe Bulldogs. That could be costly later in the football game if we need those timeouts, as we had to waste one there with not enough men on the field. Well, while we have a timeout on the field, we'll take you back to the studios for a word from some good folks that make tonight's broadcast possible. Kick is up. No good. No good. No good. It was wide to the right. That leaves the score, Howe Bulldogs 9, Electra Tigers 3. That could be an important extra point later in the football game, Leon.
Yeah, Jim, it could come down to losing the ball game by 1 point should Electra score, but we've got a lot of time to play yet, and both teams are playing good, so of course we're biased in our opinions, but we hope that the Bulldogs can continue to play defense like they did that last 2 series.
Well, that's right. Well, while we're preparing for this kickoff after the score, we'll take you back to the studios one more time for a word from our sponsors.
Well, one receiver, number 15.
Stephen Hawthorne back to kick for the Howe Bulldogs, preparing for this kickoff. Jeff Rogers deep in the middle for the Electra Tigers. The ball is kicked deep right down the middle. Noel Hernandez, number 30, there's a fumble on the play as they try a little razzle-dazzle play on their own. And the Electra Tigers have to drop on the football at their own 7-yard line.
And number 11, Jeff Rogers, the last man up off the ball, Jim, and number 45, David Canada, almost had a shot at recovering that fumble.
What a break that would have been for the Howe Bulldogs if they had only gotten there just about 2 steps quicker. Well, the Electra Tigers are in a hole now. They have the football, first down, 10 yards to go, their own 7-yard line, going into this strong wind, going north to south. Robeson has them out and down. They're still in that pro set. Noel Hernandez in motion. Hand off to number 32, Juan Hernandez. Juan Hernandez makes a nice gain, about a 4-yard gain out to the 11-yard line, where he's met in there by the center of that Bulldog defense.
Jared Powell and Thomas Troxtel in on the defensive play. As we said earlier, Jim, Thomas Troxtel is somewhere around that ball, nearly every down. But right now, they're all playing real good defense.
That's right. Second down, 6 yards to go. Tigers out over the football. Robeson calling the signals. He's back. Hands the ball to number 32, Juan Hernandez. Carries the ball out to about the 12-yard line. And that will be enough for a Tiger first down.
Boatman, Williams, and Gray.
Now the referee says that one's too close for me to call. Let's call a timeout and take a look. Bring those chains in from the sidelines, and let's measure this one.
On the defense that time, Jim, for Howe was Danny Williams and...
That ball character, just really
Boatman,
number 76. I mean,
and Jared Powell and Kevin Gray all in on the defensive play that time and doing a good job up front for the Bulldogs. Inches short, Jim. He didn't quite get in there.
Well, we have another crucial third down for the Electra Tigers already in this football game. Third down and just inches to go. The Tigers are out of the huddle. They're ready to go. They're anxious, but the referee says we've got to get those chains reset on the sidelines. Now he says we're ready. Robeson has his ball club up, takes the ball himself, goes straight ahead on the quarterback keeper, and gets plenty of yardage for the first down. Robeson carries the ball out to the 20-yard line, and that is sufficient for the first down. First and 10, Electra Tigers at their own 20-yard line.
John Norwood and Blair Nelson in on the defensive play for the Bulldogs.
Leon, looks like the Tigers caught us just a little bit of sleep that time, not expecting the quarterback keeper. Well, Roberson has him out, has him down, calling the signals. He's back, hands the ball, and he's trying to hand the ball to number 15, Willett. Have to retrieve the football himself. A big loss on the play. A loss of 11 yards on the play. Second down and 21 yards to go. What is coming? The wheels are just coming off of the Electra Tiger offense
Right at this point, Jim. Of course, he had a couple of bleeding down his neck after he fumbled the ball, and Kevin Gray and John Norwood and Jared Powell also back there. And you're right. The wheels have come off so far.
Well, here we are, second down, 21 yards to go. Number 20, Robeson has him down, hands the ball off to number 32. That's Juan Hernandez, the big fullback. He carries the ball out to the 16-yard line, gets 5 of those yards back.
David Kennedy put the stop on him, and he almost kept his balance and picked up another big yardage for him that time, Jim. He's hard to bring down. He's a stocky-built young man, runs low to the ground, and I bet he is hard to get down if you're down there trying to put the hit on him.
You bet he is. He was hit at the line of scrimmage, broke 2 tackles there, and went forward for the 5-yard gain. Robeson has his Tiger offensive line down. He's rolling out to his left, looking downfield, looking for a pass receiver, throws the ball over the middle, and almost intercepted by number 16, Matt Kavanaugh. The ball was in his hands, but I think he saw 6 points too quick.
Too quick, Jim. Too quick. He was going towards the end zone.
Well, number 21, Jimmy Hernandez, was the intended pass receiver for the Electric Tigers that time. That'll bring up a third down play. Make that a fourth down play. Fourth down now, and about 14 yards to go. Jeff Rogers drops deep into punt formation. Ball is snapped back down. Kick is up. It's a short punt. Kicking right into that wind. Takes a Howe Bulldog bounce. Is killed down there by number 30, Noel Hernandez. And once again, the Bulldogs will have excellent field position. They'll begin this drive at the 46-yard line in Electra's end of the field.
Jim, I believe they changed punters that last punt. I believe number 82, Chris Lucas, was the young man that did the punting. I'm not real sure of that, but I believe that's correct.
All right, I believe you're right. I believe that number 82 was in there to do the kicking that time. Well, the Bulldogs will take control of the football. Once again, the ball spotted right at the 45-yard line. Skipworth has his Bulldog team out. They're down. They're in the the run and shoot. Skipworth back to pass, throwing deep down the middle, looking for Stephen Hawthorne. Incomplete as the ball is overthrown. Good defensive effort down there that time by Gerald Willett.
Right, he's running step for step, but he's giving away looks like about 6 inches in height, Jim, and had the ball been thrown just a little bit more out in front, that might have been 6.
Well, it might have been. Willett's 5'6", Hawthorne 6'3", so we do have a distinct height advantage there.
I think that's all the same Hawthorne.
Jerry Burke makes an interesting comment. The ball is just hanging up there in the air and taking off. Skipworth back to pass, throws the ball short. The ball intended this time for
Monty
Walker, number 42. The ball fell right at his feet and is incomplete. Now we have a third down. Third down and 10 yards to go for the Bulldogs. 34 seconds remain to be played in this third quarter. The Bulldogs have the wind at their back. They need to score while they have that wind with them, Leon.
That's right, Jim. It'd be a big advantage if they could get another score, but...
Skipworth back to pass, looking to his right, throws the ball complete to David Kennedy. Kennedy takes the ball down to the 21-yard line, where it's a making a second down for the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs are calling a timeout. They want to keep that wind at their backs.
15 seconds left.
15 seconds remain now. The Bulldogs back to play. Skipworth back, rolling out to his left, looking downfield, looking for his favorite receiver, Covington. Jerry Covington makes the catch short.
No, he made the first down.
Number 15, Willett, is the Electra Tiger in on the defense. We have a first down on the play. We have Stephen Hawthorne going deep. Jerry Covington coming underneath short. I thought he was going to go to Hawthorne, but he instead goes to the short man, Jerry Covington, but it is good for the first down. We have 2 seconds remaining. 1 second. That is the end of the third quarter of play with a 1st and 10 for the Howe Bulldogs. The ball spotted at the Electra Tiger 12-yard line. We'll have to do this, Leon, with the wind in our face.
That's all right, Jim. The way they've been moving the ball and passing the ball, Jay's really been putting a lot of zip on it, the last passes that he's thrown, and I don't believe it'll be too much a factor with him.
Well, we'll take the timeout, go back to the studios for a word from the sponsors. We'll be back with the fourth quarter in just a moment.
The Howe football team is great and has been very successful this year. Meadowbrook Nursing Home in Van Alstyne is proud of the Howe Bulldogs and wants them to achieve the utmost in their efforts. Go all the way, team. This message of support is from Meadowbrook Nursing Home, 100 Windsor Street in Van Alstyne. Come by and visit our facilities at your convenience, and we will show you around and answer any questions. That's Meadowbrook Nursing Home in Van Alstyne.
I woke up because the baby was crying. It was dark outside. There was lots of rain and thunder. The baby was crying, and I tried to turn on the light next to the bed, but it didn't work. I noticed everything was out. So I got up and sort of walked, with my hands out so I could feel my way down the hall.
Sometimes nature can take away what we all take for granted.
It was so dark, like I was blindfolded.
That's why at TU Electric, we have teams of men and women who are ready 24 hours a day to answer your call, to find and fix power outages.
I picked her up, and we sat in the rocker.
We don't wait until morning comes or until the weather gets better.
The lightning must have scared her, so we sat for a while and rocked back and forth until the lights came on.
You have a commitment from TU Electric. When your lights go out, we go to work.
After a while, the storm passed, and we both went back to bed.
TU Electric, a commitment to service.
Back to play, fourth quarter. Howe Bulldogs 9, Electra Tigers 3, Bulldogs 1st and 10, Electra Tiger 12-yard line. Skipworth has his team out. Back, hands the ball to Clint Bray. Clint Bray takes the ball to the left side. Is met over there on that left side of the line by number
61, Aaron Bounds. Jim made the defensive play and put the initial stop on him, and then he got some assistance from 3 more of the Tigers.
Well, we give him 2 yards on the play. Second down, 8 yards to go for the Bulldogs. 2nd and 8.
He got that all on his own.
Skipworth has them out and down. Back to pass, throwing the ball into the corner for Stephen Hawthorne. Flag on the play. We have a flag down on the play. Hold everything. Looks like it might be pass interference, but we've got to see which direction it goes.
Again, Jim, we had that mismatch over there with Jared Willett at 5'6", and Stephen Hawthorne's about 6'2" or 3", and it was a good play, and just almost went for the 6 points.
Well, we have a penalty signaled against the Electra Tigers. It appeared that he signaled holding against the Tigers rather than pass interference. We'll take the ball down to the 2-yard line.
Half the distance to the goal, Jim, was a penalty.
Down to the 2-yard line. We have a first down and goal to go now for the Bulldogs. Skipworth has his team out, pitches the ball back to 44, Clint Bray. He almost lost the handle on that ball as he went to his left to hit that offensive line, the hole that they had opened for him. Was finally able to control the ball, takes the ball down to the 1-yard line. It'll be a second down and goal to go from the 1-yard line.
Don't know how he did it, Jim, but I'm sure glad he was able to hang on to that football. But just as he hit the line of scrimmage, he had the ball out in front of him, bobbling it in his hands.
It appeared he never really got the handle on it from the quarterback. Skipworth has him out and down. Again, the ball goes to Bray. He's right down to the goal line, but the officials say he's just a little bit short. Number 32, Juan Hernandez, up quickly to fill the hole to stop Bray. They spot the ball down at just about the 1-yard line. It'll be third down now. Third down and goal to go for the Bulldogs. Ball at the 1-yard line. What a crucial third down we have coming up here, Leon. We need that 6 points.
Need 6 points bad, Jim.
Well, Skipworth has them up. They're in the full house backfield. Skipworth calling the signals back, hands the ball to Bray. Bray going behind the big offensive line. It's there for the touchdown. At 10 minutes, 6 seconds remain to be played in the football game. We now have a score of Howe Bulldogs 15, Electra Tigers 3. What a touchdown that was. What an offensive surge on that offensive line.
Good job by the offensive line. That right side over there, and as they lined up with that full house backfield, that would be Beamont on the right side, along with number 62,
Scott Nass. Well, we're going for 2 points here. Skipworth has him down, back, rolling out to his right, throws the ball wide open in the end zone to Kennedy for 2 points now. That brings the score to the Howe Bulldogs 17, Electra Tigers 3. What a big conversion that was.
That sure will make it hard for Electra. They're going to have to score 2 times, Jim, in order to tie the ball game. And that was a big play, and glad to see that the Bulldogs come up with it.
Well, with 10 minutes and 6 seconds remain to be played in the football game, the score now, Howe Bulldogs 17, Electra Tigers 3. We're going to take a timeout and go back to the studios for a word from our sponsors.
Overhead door of Sherman and Denison, 316 West Chestnut says if your garage door breaks, falls apart, or just needs attention, repairs, and maintenance, give us a call at 463-2083 in Denison, or in McKinney, 545-1111. In Denton, 383-3310. In Greenville, 455-3007. And in Paris, 785-0700. Overhead door of Sherman and Denison. Our slogan says, we sell the best and service the rest. Call Bob or Scott at 463-2083 or come by Overhead door of Sherman and Denison at 316 West Chestnut, Denison.
M&M Place in Howe is your one-stop for almost everything. Exxon gas, deli, groceries, videos, hardware and plumbing. And M&M Place is open 7 days a week in Howe. M&M Place salutes the Howe Bulldogs and proud of the team, coaches and other officials. Go all the way, Howe Bulldogs. This message of support from M&M Place in Howe, where one stop will probably be all you will need. M&M Place, 411 West Hanning in Howe.
Well, Leon, this Electra Tiger football team is not known as a comeback team. With a 14-point deficit now, that really puts the pressure on their offense, but equally puts the pressure on this Bulldog defense.
Very true, Jim, and so far the Bulldogs, the last few series that Electra's had the ball, they've been able to contain and shut them down, and I don't know how long they can keep it up, but all season long they've been a second-half ball club, and I feel like with this 14-point lead that they're going to play just that much harder.
Well, Hawthorne prepares to kick. There's the kick going down the field. Short.
Roberson
takes the kick.
Hernandez got
hands off to number 32, Juan Hernandez, on a razzle-dazzle. Good return on the part of Hernandez that time. Brings the ball out to the 37-yard line. It'll be first down and 10 yards to go for the Electra Tigers from their own 37. This is their best field position of the second half.
That's right, Jim, but he's a hard runner to bring down, and I'll tell you one thing, Jared Powell did a terrific job of making an open field tackle on that young man, and had he not done it, that would have been 6 points, I'm afraid.
Well, Robeson brings them out. They stay in that pro set offense. Pitch back is to number 15, Willett. He makes a nice carry around the left side of the offensive line, carries the ball down to the Howe Bulldog 49-yard line. That's a gain of 13 yards and a first down for the Electra Tigers. It appeared that the Bulldog defense might have just let down a little bit that time after taking that second touchdown.
Very true, Jim, but, also give Electra credit. They got fired up. It might have made them mad,
Well, 9:41 remain to be played in the football game. Robeson has the Tigers out over the football. Hernandez in motion. Hands the ball to number 32, Juan Hernandez. Hernandez met at the line of scrimmage, but again with that drive, that leg drive of his, he still goes for 2 yards. Number 74, Blair Nelson in on the stop for the Howe Bulldogs.
Along with Boatman and Kennedy up to assist Jim on the defensive play, and good play on that particular play. The defense held pretty good.
Well, we have 2nd and 8 yards to go now. You know, this Hernandez kid impresses me that even with a 210-pounder meeting him right at the line of scrimmage with that leg drive, he just drives him on back and still picks up 2.
He doesn't quit.
Robeson has him out, has him down. He's back to pass, rolling out to his left, throwing the ball back to Willett. Willett takes the ball down the right sideline, takes the ball all the way down to the Howe Bulldog 27-yard line. Number 16, Matt Kavanagh making an excellent defensive play to save the touchdown. An excellent screen pass catches the Bulldogs in that pursuing defense, and everyone was going in the wrong direction.
Everybody except the Electra Tigers, Jim, and that was a good play. It called it just at the right time because the Bulldogs kind of lulled and asleep, and he picked up good yardage.
Well, 1st and 10 for the Electra Tigers at the Bulldog 27-yard line. Hernandez in motion, Robeson back, rolling to his left, looking down the field, looking to pass, throws the ball intended for number 10, that's Gerald Willett. The ball is just a little bit overthrown.
We're lucky we didn't get a flag.
Number 7 that time, Jim, on Wade Carson on the defense for the Bulldogs, did a good job running step for a step with him.
Willett was there at the 8-yard line. The ball was just a little overthrown, thrown out of bounds. 2nd down now and 10 yards to go for the Tigers. The ball still at the 27-yard line. Bulldog defense needs to come to the occasion here. They need to rise to the occasion. This is the time to stop these Electra Tigers. Robeson brings his ball club out. They set down over the ball. Robeson calling his signals. Robeson takes the snap, drops back. Back to pass, rolling to his left, looking downfield. Now tucks the ball down and is met there at the 25-yard line by number 56, Thomas Troxel, and he said, Mr. Robeson, that's far enough.
That's right, Jim, and he hadn't much more and got a hold of him, and here comes Jerry Covington, number 30, also to help him.
Well, we give him 2 yards on the play. 3rd down now and 8 yards to go. 3rd and 8 for this Electra Tiger club from the Howe Bulldog 25-yard line.
Big down for the Bulldogs, Jim.
Robeson has his Tiger team down. They're set. He's back to pass, rolling out to his right, looking back to his left. And again, it's a screen pass, and number 12, Darrell G. fell down. If he hadn't fallen down, that screen pass was wide open again. Leon.
Wide open, Jim, and the only man over here was Jerry Covington for the Bulldogs, and if he hadn't fell down and caught that ball, he had plenty of daylight down the left sideline here.
Well, we have a big 4th down play. 4th down, 8 yards to go. Tigers have an excellent field goal kicker, but they're 2 touchdowns behind. It doesn't appear to me that they're going to try for the field goal. No, they're coming up into their offensive set. Robeson brings them to the line of scrimmage. Sets them down, calls the signals. Man in motion is Willett. Back to pass, rolling to his right. Whistles blow. We have a delay of the game for the Tigers. They did not get that play off. Now it'll be 4th down and 13 yards to go. Leon, that puts more pressure on that Tiger offense.
That sort of thing hurts, Jim, not to get the play in and be able to get it off on time. And you hate to see those things happen, whether it's the Electra Tigers or the Howe Bulldogs. But that's a costly penalty at this time, and really puts more pressure on them than what they had.
Well, number 40, Larry Hernandez, leaves the football game. Number 21, Jimmy Hernandez, replaces him. Number 20, Robeson has his Tiger team down. He's calling the signals. He's back. He fakes the ball to Willett. Looks to throw deep. Now pulls the ball up. The ball is batted down by number 64, Kevin Gray. What a big defensive play for little Kevin Gray. Kevin Gray is probably the smallest defender out there for the Bulldogs, and yet he makes such a big play.
Jim, he did. He come up with the right thing at the right time. I thought for a minute they didn't want to tackle him. He was running back there and setting up to throw the ball, and looked like the defensive pursuit had just stopped. But when they saw he was going to take off with it, why, up come Kevin Gray and knocks that ball down as he attempts to throw it.
Well, with 7 minutes, 30 seconds remain to be played in the football game, the Howe Bulldogs have the football at their own 30-yard line. 1st down, 10 yards to go. Skipworth brings his club out. They're still in that run and shoot. Skipworth hands the ball to number 44, Clint Bray. Clint Bray bulls his way forward, gains about 3 yards. Number 83, that's Stephen Gaines, that big all-stater, that's 265-pounder. We're finally calling his number once again. He makes the stop that time on Clint Bray. 2nd down, 7 yards to go.
That Stephen Gaines does a good job up there, and you know, Clint Bray is kind of like this young man Hernandez for Electra. He's hard to bring down, has strong leg drive.
Well, Skipworth has his club out. Jerry Covington in motion. Backhands the ball to Brian Pettit. Brian Pettit sweeping the left side. Is hit there, makes a good defensive play. Number 10, Gerald Willett made an excellent open field tackle. If he hasn't made that tackle, there's nothing but carpet in front of number 6, Brian Pettit.
Lots of room over there had the defensive play not been made by Gerald Willett, and he did a super job open field tackle.
Well, we have no gain on the play. Third down now and 7 yards to go for the Bulldogs. Jay Skipworth, number 9, brings that Bulldog offensive line out, sets them down, calls the snap, back to pass, looking to his left, throws the ball out there for Stephen Hawthorne. Hawthorne catches the ball, but the official says he is out of bounds. Excellent catch, excellent throw, probably about 2 inches out of bounds.
Almost, Jim, but not quite there, and he did a good job to catch the ball because the man was running right in his face, but when he come down, both feet were out of bounds.
Well, this Howe Bulldog team is going to have to give the ball up to this Tiger offense one more time as it's 4th down, 4th and 7. Ball resting at the Bulldog 33-yard line. Jay Skipworth back to do the punting, and remember now, he's punting into this strong wind.
Larry Hernandez.
Punt is up, keeps the ball low. Low line drive kick. The ball takes a good roll for the Howe Bulldogs. Number 42, that's Monty Walker down there to kill the ball. The ball is killed at the Electra Tiger 36-yard line. The Tigers will have the football 1st and 10 at their own 36-yard line. Excellent kick.
Considering the wind factor, Jim, that was a very good kick. He kept it low. He kept it away from the intended receiver and got a good roll out of it. So puts the Electra back on their own 35-yard line.
Well, 6:01 to play. Robeson has his team out. Hernandez in motion, hands the ball straight ahead to number 15, Willett. Willett takes the ball to the 48-yard line.
Matt Cavender.
Matt Cavender on the tackle. There's a flag down on the play.
Both men got a penalty.
Flag down on the play. The officials are talking this one over.
That one's going to hurt Jim because he made pretty good yardage running the ball all right, but I think the penalty is going to add some more on to it. It's a dead ball foul.
Dead ball personal foul is the signal against the Howe Bulldogs. The play will stop dead at the 48-yard line. We'll tack on 15 at that point. That's going to put the Electra Tigers across the midfield stripe for the first time in the second half.
That's right, Jim, and those kind of things really hurt you. And like we said in the first half, those crucial penalties at crucial times can really do damage to you, and now they're going to have to really buckle up and play some hard-nosed defense to keep Electra out of the end zone.
Well, now we're at the Bulldog 37-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go for the Electra Tigers. This late in the ball game, with the score like it is, we really did not need that 15-yard penalty. Well, Robeson brings the Tigers out, sets them down, goes back, fakes the ball. He's rolling out to his right, throws the ball down deep down the right sideline. Pass is incomplete. Intended for number 32, Juan Hernandez.
No, number 82, Jim. Chris Lucas, intended receiver. And Matt Cavender back for the Howe Bulldogs. But we had a flag on the play.
Holding is the call against the Electra Tigers, and that's going to even out that 15-yarder just a little bit. Not completely, but just a little bit. Holding is the call. Signaled against the Electra Tigers. We're going to step off that penalty. It'll be a 10-yard penalty. That'll bring up a first down. First down, 20 yards to go. 10. First down and 20 now. 5 minutes, 34 seconds remaining to be played in this football game. The Bulldog defense needs to rise to the occasion once more. The ball now at the 47-yard line. Bulldogs into the field. Robeson brings the Tiger offensive line up, sets them down, calling his signals. Hernandez in motion. Fake to Hernandez, rolls to his right. Looking downfield, throws the ball. The ball is incomplete. The officials are going to say that he caught that football. Caught that football at the 39-yard line. Number 15, Willett on the reception. Leon, that was an excellent catch.
It was a good catch, Jim, but it sure did look like it hit the carpet from up here, and he trapped the ball, but, you know, they're closer to it than we are, so let's give him the credit for making the right call.
Well, 2nd and 12 now. Robeson has his team out, has them down. Pitches the ball out. Pitches it back to number 15, Willett. Willett has become the workhorse here. Willett breaks the tackle at the line of scrimmage. Carries 2 Bulldogs with him. Carries them all the way down to the 22-yard line. The last Bulldog getting up there is number 64. That's Kevin Gray. Kevin Gray making that stop at the 22-yard line, but not before Willett picks up enough yardage for the first down. First down and 10 yards to go. This Willett suddenly has come alive here in the fourth quarter.
He sure has, and he's done a good job all night, Jim, but he just hasn't had good blocking up front, but he likes to run that sweep and does a good job at it.
Well, he's been the offense in the fourth quarter. Robeson has his Tiger team down. Back to pass, throws the ball inside, batted down by Blair Nelson. Big Blair Nelson got those big long arms up in the air and swatted that pass down. Excellent defense that time.
Excellent defense, Jim. These Bulldogs are putting it all together right now, and of course they have to. Their backs to the wall. They're down there on the 22-yard line, and for all practical purposes, they're knocking at the door. And a quick score at this time could turn this ball game around.
Well, Electra tried to borrow a play from the Bulldogs. That quick pass. Robeson now is out. Has them down. Back to pass, rolling out to his right, looking down the right sideline. Pressure on the quarterback, but he gets away from the pressure. Oh, the pass is almost intercepted, then almost caught. Number 40, Larry Hernandez, almost came up with a big reception at the 10-yard line, but just falls short. There's an injured Bulldog down on the play. We have an official's timeout. While we have a timeout on the play, we'll go back to the studios for a word from the good folks who are making tonight's broadcast possible. Line of scrimmage, Robeson is back, rolling out to his right, looking downfield, looking back to the left. Jordan Norwood makes an excellent defensive play for the Howe Bulldogs, throwing the Electra Tiger quarterback Robeson for a big loss back to the 32-yard line. Excellent defensive play.
Big defensive play, Jim, and he did a good job to hang on to him. He got to him all right, but he had trouble getting a hold of that jersey to pull him down.
Well, a big 10-yard loss. More than that, it brings up fourth down again. Another fourth down play for the Tigers. 3 minutes and 54 seconds remain to be played in this football game. Tigers are going for the first down. Robeson calling signals, back to pass. Rolling out to his left, looking down the field, throws the ball. It is complete to number 40, Larry Hernandez, but well short of the first down. And the Howe Bulldogs have held these Electra Tigers one more time.
Held them one more time. Big series for the Bulldogs, and we got 3 minutes and 39 seconds left, Jim. And if they can make a couple of first downs here on this offensive possession, then they'll have this ball game in the bag.
Electra Tigers have thrown the ball 9 times here in the fourth quarter.
Well, again, a big first down series, a big series of offensive downs for the Howe Bulldogs. The Bulldogs need to control the clock, need to control the football, need to make first downs. Jay Skipworth brings the Bulldogs up to the line of scrimmage. They're in that run and shoot offense. Monty Walker in motion. Skipworth pitches the ball back to number 44, Clint Bray. Clint Bray taking the ball to the left. Hit at the line of scrimmage, but powers his way forward for a 2-yard gain. Second down and 8 yards to go for the Bulldogs. Excellent offensive run.
Good run by Clint Bray. He had 4 men on him, and number 20, Joseph Robeson, and number 81, Kerry Marsh in on the defensive play for Electra, along with number 61. That would be Aaron Bounds. But Clint picked up a couple of yards on his own, carrying about 3 of those would-be tacklers with him that time, Jim.
Well, second down, 8 yards to go. Bulldogs to the line of scrimmage. Man in motion. Hands the ball off to number 6, Brian Pettit. Brian Pettit cuts it up inside. Is hit right at the line of scrimmage. If he gained anything, Leon, it'd be a yard.
That's right. Not much room there, and you can understand why, because big number 83 was right there in the hole as he got to the line of scrimmage, Stephen Gaines. And also number 32, Juan Hernandez, in to make the stop.
Well, we have a big third down play for the Bulldogs. The officials say there was no gain on that play. Third down, 8 yards to go. Clock working definitely in the favor of the Howe Bulldogs. 2 minutes, 27 seconds remain to be played. The Bulldog team doesn't appear to be in a whole lot of hurry. Skipworth brings them up to the line of scrimmage, using all of that clock. Back to pass, looking down the field, throwing out there in the left flat. Ball is incomplete, stopping the clock with 2 minutes and 16 seconds remain to be played in the football game. That'll be a fourth down play coming up for the Bulldogs. 4th down and 8, and these Electra Tigers are going to get this thing one more time.
One more time, they're going to get an opportunity to score, Jim. We say one more time. It could be 2 or 3 more times, but we hope not for the Howe Bulldogs' sake.
Well, Jay Skipworth is going back in punt formation for the Howe Bulldogs. The snap is back. Kick is up. Kick is a good kick. number 40, Larry Hernandez.
Flag down.
There's a flag on the play. Skipworth is down. It looks like it may be roughing the kicker. We'll have to hold everything and see what our referee gives us the signal for. Personal foul, roughing the kicker is the call. Personal foul, roughing the kicker. What a break for the Bulldogs.
What a break, Jim. That's put new life in the Bulldogs. They'll get another opportunity to keep the offensive possession and run some time off of that clock. So they'll get 4 more downs, and that should run at least a good minute off of that clock anyway.
Well, the officials now are stepping off the penalty against the Electra Tigers. It's a big one. It's 15 yards. That'll be a first down for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs will have the football at the 43-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go. Fresh series of downs. Clock standing at 2 minutes, 7 seconds remaining to be played in the football game. Score, Howe Bulldogs 17, Electra Tigers 3. Skipworth brings his team to the line of scrimmage. The referee says, let's play football, signals time in. Skipworth sets his team down, calls the snap count, sends Monty Walker in motion. He's back. He throws the ball out into the flat. Ball is complete.
Stephen
Hawthorne, a gain of 4 yards on the play. Unfortunately, he goes out of bounds to stop the clock.
Number 32, Juan Hernandez, and number 61, Aaron Bounds, helped him, Jim. They put him out of bounds that time. I know he wasn't wanting to go there, but they made the initial hit on him and just drove him out of bounds to stop the clock.
Well, a gain of 4 big yards, make it 5 big yards, the officials now say. Second down and 5 yards to go. We have a timeout signal on the field. The Electra Tigers want to talk this thing over. So while we have timeout on the field, we'll go back to the studio for a word from the good folks making all of this possible for you tonight. Leon, while we have this timeout on the field with 1 minute and 50 seconds remaining to be played, let's look ahead a little bit. We're not going to count any chickens now before they're hatched, but if these Bulldogs continue to lead this ball game and this score remains the same, next week they'll be playing the winner of the McGregor-Grandview game. We've not gotten a score here at the stadium tonight on that game, so we don't know how things are going, but either way it's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough. We understand that McGregor has a real fine ball club, and we're favored in their ball game tonight. And I saw them, or I heard that they defeated last week one of the teams that I had the pleasure of watching, which was San Saba, won their district down in South Texas, and McGregor really whipped up on them last week.
Well, the officials have just made an adjustment on the clock. Instead of 1 minute 50, we have 1 minute 58. It is second down, 7 yards to go. The scoreboard shows 2nd and 7. On the sidelines, it looks like 2nd and 5 to me.
That's what it looks like, Jim.
Second down, 5 yards to go is the official yardage needed for the first down. The Howe Bulldogs come up to the line of scrimmage. Jay Skipworth sets them down, calls his signals, man in motion. Skipworth back, tosses the ball back to number 44, Clint Bray. Clint Bray going to his right. Clint Bray is stopped by number 83, Stephen Gaines, and he stopped right at the 45-yard line. And very quickly, the Electra Tigers called timeout. Timeout on the field, and while we have timeout on the field, with 1 minute and 51 seconds remaining to be played. Score, Howe Bulldogs 17, Electra Tigers 3. We go back to the studios now for a word from our sponsors.
M&M Place in Howe is your one-stop for almost everything. Exxon Gas, deli, groceries, videos, hardware and plumbing. And M&M Place is open 7 days a week in Howe. M&M Place salutes the Howe Bulldogs and is proud of the team, coaches and other officials. Go all the way, Howe Bulldogs. This message of support from M&M Place in Howe, where one stop will probably be all you'll need. M&M Place, 411 West Hanning in Howe.
Yeah, they shut our run down.
Well, back to play. A loss of 3 on that previous carry by Clint Bray. Third down, 8 yards to go. Monty Walker in motion. Skipworth back to pass, looking to his left, looking downfield. Looked like Stephen Hawthorne was tied up with number 20 out there. That's Joseph Robeson. The ball goes incomplete, overthrown. That'll bring up a 4th down and 8 yards to go. 1 minute, 47 seconds remaining to be played in the football game.
And he looked downfield. Monty Walker was wide open on that play.
That play didn't develop exactly like it was designed, I don't believe, Jim, and he just did a good job to get the ball over Stephen and get it incomplete, because Stephen was well covered by Robeson.
It looked like number 20, Robeson, just refused to let him off the line of scrimmage that time. Good defensive effort by Robeson.
Good defensive effort.
Well, number 9, Jay Skipworth back to punt. Snap is back. Kick is up. Good kick. Rolls out of bounds at the... Nope, is not... Going to be ruled dead at the 36-yard line. The Electra Tigers will have the football. First down, 10 yards to go. Their own 36-yard line with 1 minute, 38 seconds remaining to be played in tonight's football game. The score, Howe Bulldogs 17, Electra Tigers 3.
Jim, you'd have to say that Jay's done a good job punting the ball tonight, especially when he's been punting into this wind. He's kept the ball low. He's kept it away from the intended receiver. And, he hadn't had any big booming punts, but they've been good for 30 and 35 yards and no run back to them.
Well, that's exactly right, and that's the key. There's been no run back.
That wind has been a factor because we didn't have to punt when we had the wind at our backs.
Robeson back, rolling to his left, looking downfield, looking for a receiver, throwing the ball back over the middle. Throwing the ball intended for number 12, Darrell G. Number 7, Wade Carson almost came up with the interception that time. Good defensive effort by Carson.
Good defensive effort, Jim. He was there and had the play pretty well covered. That pass, I think, really was catchable, and the receiver it looked like he slipped right about the time he reached to try and catch the ball.
Well, it's second down now, 2nd and 10 for the Electra Tigers. 1 minute, 32 seconds remaining on the clock. Number 40, Larry Hernandez, coming back into the ball game for the Tigers. Tigers staying in the huddle. Here they come to the line of scrimmage. Robeson under center, calling his signals. Back to pass, rolling out to his right, looking downfield, looking back over the middle. The ball is caught by number 32, Juan Hernandez.
Super tackle.
Jerry Covington made a crushing tackle.
Super tackle. He tackled just like your coaches tell you to, Jim. He buried that shoulder right in his midsection and just drove him back into the turf. And a good defensive play by Jerry Covington.
Well, we'll give them a gain of 8 yards on the play. 3rd down and 2 yards to go for the Tigers, and the Tigers have called their last timeout. So with timeout on the field, we'll take it with them and go back to the studios for a word from the sponsors of tonight's football game. Played in the football game. Electra Tigers, 3rd down, 2 yards to go. Ball now resting at their own 45-yard line. Number 20, Robeson brings them out, sets them down, calls the snap count. He's back. No, hands off to number 32. Juan Hernandez right up the middle. Hernandez runs the ball down to the Howe Bulldog 40-yard line. That's a nice gain. 15-yard gain on the play and a good offensive effort.
Jerry Covington again on a defensive play along with David Kennedy to stop him, but he picked up good yardage. A big hole up in the middle that time, Jim.
1st and 10 for the Tigers. 1 minute, 14 seconds to be played. Robeson calling his signals. Rolling out to his left. Looking down the field, looking to pass, throws the ball back over the middle. Ball complete to number 83, Stephen Gaines.
The big man, Jim, and he's a good target to throw to, but again, Jerry Covington, along with number 56, Thomas Troxell, stopped him, and when he caught that ball that time, I thought he had 6 points on the board.
How many yards was that?
1 minute, 1 second remaining to be played. The ball now at the Bulldog 17-yard line. Robeson back, throws the ball out of bounds to stop the clock. That stops the clock with 57 seconds remaining to be played. 2nd down, 10 yards to go.
That's a big old boy.
We don't have much time left in the game, Jim, but I'd like to say that both of these teams have played an outstanding football game, and the second half has really been an improvement over the first half, and in the fact that either team haven't made the mental mistakes that they made in the first half.
That's right. The quality of play on the field tonight is a credit to both Coach Bateman of Electra and Coach Fryer of the Howe Bulldogs. Well, the Tigers are ready to go back to play. Robeson has his team out, calling the snap count, takes the ball, rolls out to his right, looking downfield, looking back over the middle, throwing the ball, and it's complete in the middle to number 40, Larry Hernandez. Fumble on the play.
He
rolls it down.
We do have a recovery for the Electra Tigers. Hernandez recovering his own fumble. The ball will be spotted down at the 11-yard line.
Kevin Gray put the pressure on the quarterback then. Jim did a good job getting in there and putting pressure on him.
Quickly, Robeson brings his team up. Back, hands the ball to number 32, Hernandez. Hernandez is stopped at the line of scrimmage. Might have gained a yard on the play. And the Tigers, I must have been wrong. They do call another timeout. So we have a timeout on the play. We have a 4th down. We have 2 yards to go needed for the Tigers. 4th down, 2 yards to go at the 10-yard line with 32 seconds remaining to be played in this football game, and that is the final timeout for the Electra Tigers. And while we have the timeout, we'll go back to the studios for a word from the sponsors. Takes the ball down to the 4-yard line. That will be close to the 1st down. It depends upon where the officials spot the ball down. The clock is stopped. Passing the ball to the backside of the end zone. The pass is incomplete. His team to the line of scrimmage. Sets him down. Willett in motion. Robeson back to pass, looking to the right, throwing the ball across the middle. Incomplete. Back of the end zone.
Complete. Touchdown.
It is complete for a touchdown to number 15. Harold Willett. How appropriate that Willett does get the score in this football game because he has been the offense. Incomplete. It was there. I thought the receiver had made the catch. Willett going to do the kicking for the Electra Tigers. All of the Bulldogs up near the line of up near.
Onside kick.
It is an onside kick. Matt Kavanagh makes the reception for the Bulldogs. Brings it out to the 42-yard line. Drops back. Goes down to one knee. Time expires on the clock. We have a final score of Howe Bulldogs 17, Electra Tigers 9. We'll be back in just a moment to wrap up tonight's football game and